Technical Alpha. We got this, guys. We got this.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'll line this up magically in post. We'll make it happen. We'll figure it out. Believe so strong. It's all right. Soon, and I say soon in quotation marks, soon we will be in the same room, Jeff, but today is not that day, and we still have to deal with the internet and software that, you know, I'm sure when we get in the same room, we're still going to somehow find all sorts of problems to tackle on a weekly basis. It's a good thing we called ourselves Technical Alpha. How are you doing this week, Mr. Black?
I am good. I am very, very good. I wouldn't say very, very good, but I'm good.
Just one very, not two varies.
Just
one.
One very. Better than normal. And as you heard on my stream, I just got a voice acting gig, another one, so that's pretty exciting. So that's awesome. For those that don't know, I have been getting voice acting lessons now for a few weeks and getting some coaching. Adam's making some weird gestures and faces, so I don't know if audio is
audio is fine. You just keep doing you. Video, however, not making any sense.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I've been getting some coaching and stuff like that as I'm trying to break into doing some voice acting gigs on the side and just like a sort of a passion thing for me. So yeah, I got another gig today. I get to record it on Tuesday with the director or, you know, whoever's going to be listening. I've done this live direction stuff before, so it's not too bad. But beyond that, pretty good stuff.
Dude. You ever just wake up and wonder why you even bother trying to do anything in life? Do you ever wonder why you didn't just, you know, say fuck it and just went and flipped burgers for the rest of your life and just lived like some menial existence in a $700 apartment until you were retired and tried to live on government welfare? That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. Because I cannot tell you. I've no clue what is even happening right now.
I mean, you can have my face up there. You know, we could go faces. I think we'll live if we go faces.
Oh, I just want to know what's happening in the first place. I just don't understand. I literally streamed last night. Nothing has moved. Nothing has changed. And yet, here we are. I bet you the faces are broken too. Let's see. Nope, the faces are there. We're going all faces today. I won't even show mine.
There you go. Let's just keep it going. Let's just keep it
all faces
rolling.
All faces. I give up. I'm tossing in the towel. I just don't fucking care anymore. Fuck all this shit.
I'm getting fucking balls. I'm sweating too. My nuts are sweating. I might just whip moat.
It's a hot day. Well, we've had the humidity the last couple of days too. Despite all that rain, it's been humid as hell.
Yeah.
But in any case, by the way, since I had to restart this recording already from all the other stuff, in case you forgot what day it is August 23rd, 2018. It's another Technical Alpha podcast. We're here bringing you all the hot fire garbage that is OBS updates and mechanical failure of everything that we've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on. So this week we got a real solid lineup for you. Lots of stuff happened, mostly because it was Gamescom this week, which is the European E3, which is basically E3 but with more sweaty people on the show floor.
Awesome.
It's basically how it goes. So I tried. There's obviously a lot of information that comes out around that whole event. So I tried to like pick and choose the stuff that people would give a fuck about, and we'll go from there. So the first thing that I have on my list that probably the most people are interested in general is Cyberpunk 2077. That's the new game coming from the guys that did the Witcher series. Yeah. That's just, you know, it's the hype. It is the hype. It is probably, it's approaching No Man's Sky levels of hype in the gaming community, which is a dangerous place to fly. You're flying close to the sun, you start having that much hype. So you got to deliver. And it doesn't make it any easier that they've been showing zero gameplay. Like, fucking zero. They've been doing all these behind doors with the press. Let's show you a demo, and then you get to go write about the demo, and then we'll give you some screenshots, and then you could show these screenshots, but we're not going to show anything else off. And so people are kind of waiting for a slew of gameplay that hasn't really happened yet. However, having read a couple of the tellings of the demo that they showed at Gamescom, the game sounds pretty ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. Very, very in-depth, kind of crazy combat, destructive, like environmental destruction is included in this. There's still not a lot of games that are doing environmental destruction. Really, kind of like Battlefield was like its own thing. So they were talking about entire walls just coming down, shooting through walls, disintegrating them. Kind of, I'm assuming, similar to like a Rainbow Six that like we have right now, Siege. Things of that nature. They were describing a lot of emphasis on, as there has been since Mass Effect and perhaps even before, like Knights of the Old Republic era and before as well, the whole your decisions have consequences, or your decisions really move the story. They actually move the needle, and so they're really putting a lot of weight on that. And so I would only assume, given the pedigree of the games they've had before, that they're actually going to attempt to make good on your choices legitimately having dramatic effects on the storyline and how you end up being, delivered this this narrative. And then the changes, it's like a choose your own adventure. That's what I think people have always kind of wanted. It's like, you think about those books when you're growing up. You ever have one of those, or you ever read one of those?
Yeah. And they got those Kel and I played a little bit of it. It's like the Adventures or something. You can get the games on Steam. They're like old school, cartoony.
Yeah, it's kind of that's true.
Where you just choose your own path. Like
yeah. So it's kind of similar, to that, where people kind of want that experience where if they choose a direction and it's go to page, 49. And you get there, and then you go back because you're interested. You want to see just how different the other choice was, right? And it's usually, it's pretty dramatic. But in games, it's, I'm going to give you 4 choices, and all of them lead to basically the same thing. We just changed 3 words in this sentence. And that was basically
Monkey Island. That's what I was talking about.
Monkey Island. Yeah, for sure.
I know what books you're talking about, though. I definitely read those when I was early teens.
They were the shit.
They were the shit.
They were.
And you're right too. I would go backwards and like try and find
you're
what
not supposed to.
I know
but,
you're not.
But you can't. It's like, don't push the red button, right? You have to go back and check it out. So I think that's what people have wanted in games, is something that feels like more of an actual divergence in the story, like an actual fork in the road, versus one that's kind of more like a detour that comes back to the same road later on. Kind of deal. Like, if you make this choice, you might go in these 2 separate directions, but then they inevitably come back to the same road anyway. I think that's what people are looking for. Maybe this is the game that does it. I don't know, but they describe some pretty cool, like, multiple layers of interaction. So you would make a decision that would change the outcome, but then there would be like 2 more decisions before the conclusion of this, let's call it a scene, that would even further kind of seemingly branch it. So it wasn't just 1, 2, it was more like multiple branches off, or it makes it feel like that. So lots of emphasis on that. Everyone's saying the game looks absolutely fucking incredible from a graphics standpoint. Like,
it better.
The term next gen gets thrown around a lot. Somebody said this is the first game I've seen in a long time that when I saw it, it felt like I was seeing a next generation, whatever that phrase even fucking means anymore. They were like, this is the first game in a while that I felt like I was looking at, the next generation. So there's definitely some serious weight behind it, but fans are getting antsy because everyone likes to have their shit now. And so people want to see the gameplay. They want to see it, right now. They don't want to wait. They don't want to be swoondled. And
they don't want to be No Man's Sky.
Exactly. They don't want to have, Sean come back out on stage, be like, aliens.
But this is an
yeah.
actual AAA title, right?
Yes.
So it's not. This isn't like No Man's Sky trying to pretend that they're bigger than what they are. This is a big project. This is
by a big dev.
Yeah, by a huge dev, and it's basically what I was seeing is it's the Grand Theft Auto of the future, right? It's a futuristic Grand Theft Auto. Maybe not in the sense of
in first person.
Who knows? But yes. It's I'm that's what I'm getting from it. I'm getting this like open world, do what you want. Different NPCs will have different will do different things, and your decisions are you already talked about all that. So it seems like a game I'm gonna buy and I'm interested in for sure.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they aren't showing the game yet. I know people are getting antsy.
I like it too.
I like it. It's
I kind of
like
want to get surprised.
Nolan effect. It's the Christopher Nolan effect where you know something great's coming, because they got a track record, and like you're seeing pieces of it. Like the trailers aren't even really trailers. They're just like it's just more tonal things. It's just like this is the tone.
It's like panning shots of JPEGs.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I like that. And when was the last time we ever got that from a AAA title? Like never.
No,
we might get something like that at an E3, and then towards we get closer to the release of a game, we start to see more and more to the point where we're like, oh shit, somebody's reviewed it and it's got a bunch of negativity around it, or it's good but it's not as great as we thought. I love the fact that we're not getting a lot, and I hope they keep it that way all the way to launch. I hope it's just like they're like, guess what? Here's the release date. It's coming out. Here's the game. Eat it up and just explore it as a totally unknown. Just put the game in, trust us that it's going to be great, or wait till you hear that it's great from other people and go in and just enjoy it. And I think that's what we're missing. And I think that will sell games in itself. And that will get people excited for a game. Just the possibility of being wowed. When was the last time you honestly were not given really any information on a game except for maybe some concept art or very minimal trailer? And for me, that last time was like when I was 14, 15 years old, and I'm going to Blockbuster and I'm looking through the games, and I don't have a blog to look at. I don't have a bunch of YouTube videos to search. I don't have anything. All I got is the artwork, the title, the company that made it, and how many copies is left at the store. So it's just, and then you take it home, and sometimes the game sucks and you're like, fuck, and typically you'll rent a couple of games just in case one's bad, or you get a couple of different genres of games if you're going to pull like an all-nighter weekend with your boys and you're just going to play video games. But that's the feeling that I've missed in gaming, where it's a crapshoot. And it's not necessarily a crapshoot too, because it does look great, and and you have these certain expectations, but they're not over the top, or you're not it's just nice to pop it in and play it, and just be like, knowing you have no idea the opening credits, you don't know what it's gonna be like, you don't know what the characters are gonna be like, you don't know what anything's gonna be like. That's fun.
They're not doing the movie thing where by the time the movie comes out, you've already seen 45% of the movie.
Exactly.
Every trailer's come out and you're like, all right, I could go see it. I already know pretty much every major plot point in this movie, but here we are. Yep. So yeah, I agree. I like it too. I'm not concerned about it. The odds of it being a shit game, pretty low. Yeah. The odds of it being even mediocre are pretty low. It's either going to likely be a good game or a really, I'm going to toss out two reallys. A really good game. So yeah, and in true Poland style, there's just nudity everywhere, just dicks and titties everywhere. It's gonna be great.
There's nothing wrong with dicks and titties.
No, absolutely not. So we're gonna have lots of that. However, unfortunately, despite all of the nice positive buzz and everything, they had to go and
do
test.
An apology.
They had to go and test, the waters. In 2018, the year of our Lord, as the joke has been going, the year of our Lord 2018, where they went and responded with, "Did you just assume their gender and the world just kind of, and by the world I mean, you know,
a group of
a
cucks.
vocal minority of super fucking easily triggered individuals that just go wild with it. They, like, no joke, it was an instantaneous boycott this game. This one thing, boycott it, and everything they ever do for the rest of eternity. They came out and said this thing, and it's like, and it's so deep. It's deep.
Yeah, dude. I was reading the tweets, and there was one guy that complained, and he wrote like a fucking like a 3-tweeter. It was there's paragraph, and he was going on about gender equal rights and going on about all kinds of shit and how they're, you know, making a joke of a serious social issue and so on and so forth. And then he was like, you need to boycott this game and this company. And I just replied, no. That was all. I was just like, no, that's the show. Just absolutely not. Just go eat a fat dick for all I care. All right. Because just get the vagina, panty, fucking tampon out of your whatever crack you got it in. Get over yourself.
Like,
just get over yourself, man.
Look, I tweeted out and I said, you know, I said my piece on it, which was, you know, okay, so, well, let me preface with something. You're up against some serious shit, okay? Because people take this and run with it like they're running with, I don't even know what. They literally attribute this in a similar way as they attribute to, you know, 4chan with the deconstruction of the Democratic Party of the United States of America. All right, like they say that like they're going with 4chan created this, like, this false flag meme that parades as making fun of people who overreact to somebody accidentally misgendering somebody in normal conversation, with the real intent being that it undermines the entire trans community to just bring them to, like, and I'm just sitting there going, look, all right, look, 4chan's done some shit, and people have done some shit, but I think people give other people too much credit sometimes. I think that they read into this shit an awful lot, and even if that was the case, I don't know of any situation, even in YouTube comments where this shit pops up, where somebody is saying it in that capacity to directly target and discredit the trans community. It's always in reference to the outlier of the person who may or may not, and usually they're not even part of the trans community. They're part of the LGBTQ2A plus A through Z community, but they're not they're not necessarily trans themselves. They're like, you know, I hate using this fucking term, but they're white knighting for the trans community to say, you'll hear them step in a conversation. Did you just, you know, assume literally like their gender, or, you know, you should have asked, you know, what pronouns they wanted you to use before you entered into this disc. Like, they start getting fucking like eloquent with speech of some of the simplest shit, when in reality it's as simple as somebody just accidentally dropped some shit. And people also say that this never happened, which is bullshit, because there are a slew of YouTube videos that are literally that. You watched like, for example, what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. I don't even believe, I don't like at least 50% of the shit that he says. But it's the guy who sits down and says, and on like a college campus and has like, I have this opinion, change my mind. And he's got a whole YouTube shtick about that. Brave motherfucker to go to
that guy. Yeah, that guy. And he's the right-wing nutbag dude that fucking is all about Merca, and he's crazy and talks about guns all the time. And
I don't think that's
younger
him.
Younger guy.
Well, maybe it is. But he was Canadian. He was French-Canadian and got pissed off with how French-Canadians were treated in Canada, so he moved to the States and then like did this YouTube thing. Okay. Steven the Idiot Crowder, somebody said. Yes, that would be him. I appreciate what he does in that he doesn't always make an honest effort, but he comes closest
That's
to
the guy.
somebody.
That's the guy who I was talking about.
He comes closest to somebody who makes an honest effort. Like, not very many people, whether or not he's crazy, I don't give a fuck. Not very many people have the nuts to fucking go to a college campus and sit down and say something as crazy as, you know, fuck abortions, change my mind. Like there's some, you have to be a little crazy to do that in the first place. And yes, he likes to put words in people's mouths because sometimes he gets caught up in it, but nobody's fucking perfect. I don't really like the guy all that much, but I say all that to say, in his videos, if you watch it, where you're going to get the sample of the people you're seeing on social media, the particularly vocal individuals, you could literally almost copy paste out somebody in a quotation of saying, did you just misgender this person? Mm-hmm. Or did you just assume this gender? And then it was funny because in one of the videos, the girl that he was talking to said that, and then another girl from the crowd referred to that girl who was being interviewed as a she, and the girl never said anything about the girl in the crowd saying shit. It was only when Steven fucked up that all of a sudden it was a problem, which was its own fucking meme. But yeah.
I know what you're saying. I get it.
It's nuts.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
So you're dealing with some crazy shit. And I can't. I mean, first of all, I don't know. My brain's bad today, and I apologize. So I'm wordy and I'm going in circles. But what I'm trying to get at is that I don't think that a video game company's Twitter account should have said that. Not because I don't think they shouldn't be able to, but just because it's like an easy, let's not fuck with that. I get that they're also not American. These guys are in Poland, where this shit is literally the furthest thing from what anyone is worried about, fucking period. It's not on anyone's mind. Nobody gives a shit at all. And so for them, the odds are they probably look at that as a joke about it, but they might also look at it as it's even more ridiculous than you and I might even be looking at it as ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they probably shouldn't have done it. Because it's just all this shit kicked up. However, that being said, I do fucking tire of the overreactionary shit around something like this. I asked members of my community who I know are openly trans, for example, what their thoughts on were it, and not fucking one, not one, said that they gave a fuck. Every one of them said to me, and I'm not saying that they're representative of like some epic fucking sample of the trans community, but it was just funny to me that not one of them said anything but, I don't give a shit. The joke isn't funny, but it does not affect me in any way. I don't fucking care. And they didn't care that they posted it either. Like they didn't fucking care. So it's just, I'm just so fucking tired of the overreaction to it. And I'm sitting here arguably overreacting to the overreaction, but it's just painful to watch hypocrisy in action. It's really, really fucking bad. And I feel for the Cyberpunk team because
I don't. It didn't hurt them any. Who gives a fuck? The game's gonna come out. It's gonna sell great. It's yesterday's news.
I just feel bad that they had to. Well, they didn't have to, but they actually apologized. I don't think they should have.
No, I don't think they should have either. Because then it's like it basically admitting that they did something wrong, which, you know, they in my eyes they didn't. But hey, you know what? Like, you know, we could be offending people just by talking about how we're talking right now, right? Are we gonna go and apologize for that? No. But I do understand they have a game coming out and they want to save face, and it's just more of a formality. But it is what it is.
I think I'm going to make a prediction right now about Cyberpunk when it comes out. Obviously, it's going to be a hypersexual game. We already know there's nudity fucking everywhere. There's a lot of sex, a lot of everything else. I bet you this thing is going to get crucified if it doesn't have a fucking representation for the entire rainbow of whatever out there. If you can't do a really specific, if you can't be a lesbian, or if you can't have every dong in your mouth at the same time as a dude, there's going to be people complaining about misrepresentation in this game because of this incident, and because it's so sexual to begin with. I'm fucking calling it right now. It's gonna catch it. Will it hurt its sales? Absolutely not. Is it going to flood my timeline and make me want to rake my eyes out with forks? Probably. And so I'm just gonna call it right now.
I better be able to have 5 dicks in my mouth. All right,
at least minimum.
I want to have at least 5 dicks, and they better be like rainbow dicks. I better have like a little tiny Asian dick, a big black Wong dick. I better have an average size white penis. Even above average white penis. I want to have it all in my mouth in this game, and if I can't do that, hell, I even want to have robot dick in my mouth. Right? I want to be pansexual too. I want to have it all. I want to have all of it in there, just to say I can. Hell, I want to add 3 more letters to the end of the abbreviation by the time I'm done Cyberpunk. That's what I want. I'm
going to start borrowing characters from other non-Latin based languages to add to the acronym. I just want it to keep going, keep the dream alive.
What do we got next, Adam?
Shigeru Miyamoto came out and said that people in the industry should stop being so damn greedy and abusing the free-to-play microtransaction model that's been, in his opinion, kind of destabilizing the gaming market, and to try and do a better job of working alongside the subscription model and encourage flat fees for software sales, kind of like, I guess, Nintendo is currently doing. I don't disagree with what he's saying, because it does kind of put a wrench in the traditional model, and it has resulted in what a lot of us have had gripes about now for pushing 6-7 years in terms of the microtransaction, nickel and dime you to all hell, whether you pay for the game or not. It's all seemingly there. EA has been feeling the brunt of that with the Star Wars Battlefront 2 shit show that they went through. But I also find it kind of ironic and hypocritical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming from Nintendo, whose most recent practices, how many Wii U games can we get onto the Switch, changing not a hell of a lot and charging full AAA price for the title?
Tough times.
It is a bit hypocritical in that regard.
It's a whole bunch of rich people at the top of the gaming world complaining about other rich people's practices. And you know what? At the end of the day, if you make good games, it don't matter if it's free to play, if it's pay to play, if it's pay to win. People are going to spend their money, and people are going to enjoy your games. It's just really quite that simple. Nope, the gaming world is not going to all come together and say, you know what? Somebody from Sony, somebody from Microsoft, somebody from Nintendo, somebody over wherever, we're all going to get into a room and we're just going to call it a truce. And this is how we're going to make our games. And we're all just going to abide by the same rules. No one's going to step on each other's toes. And we're just going to bring gaming back to what it was 8 years ago, 10 years ago. That's just fairy tales. It's not going to happen. So this guy can go ahead and bitch complain all he wants. But this is coming from the same company that puts the same game on 5 different platforms and charges full retail price for them. And then on top of that, when you do come out with unique and great new innovative things like minis, you don't have enough so that people can buy them, but then you complain when people are ROMing and modding and going to other places to buy the exact Chinese knockoff version of your product because you refuse to fill up your stores with this stuff when you know damn well that how much these things sell. So why in the hell can I buy a SNES Mini for $100 and go to Walmart? Why do I have to stand in line for 8 hours at midnight to try and get one, and Walmart's only got 6 copies? Why in the sweet fuck can't I go on Amazon and buy this? But yet you have the balls, the cojones, to go, ironically, and complain about what other companies are doing.
Stop being greedy, Electronic Arts. We're over here trying to outdo you.
It's crazy. Just eat Just eat a fat dick.
It's
like
crazy.
nobody feels sorry for you. Nobody feels sorry for you. There are companies out there that are fucking it up for everybody and giving it a bad name, but that's just the way it is. So, boo-hoo.
Yeah, it's again, I don't disagree with him. I just find it funny that it's coming from his mouth.
Him? Yeah.
It's just, and I you can't not have respect for the guy. For God's sake, he basically kept the video game industry alive with his with his head. But the reality is that Nintendo is one of the most egregious examples of double, triple, quadruple dipping. It's like that. It's like when you're at a family party and there's the young kids and they have the chip and they get to the dip, and you could watch and count as they dip and bite and then dip and bite and you could count it. And sometimes they get to that fourth before they get through it. Maybe it's one of those those crunchy cheesies, and so it doesn't break easily, so you can take a bite and triple dip easy. And they're sitting there, and all the adults, they all start looking at the same time, and they're going, "Oh, well, now we can't eat from that."
Yep, that's fucked.
That's pretty much Nintendo. It is a bit silly. And we talked about, like, probably one of the worst examples was the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze thing.
Yeah,
where not only did they put it out and charge full price, but they also pulled it from the Wii U shop.
Yep.
At the same time, where it was cheaper. That's fucking crazy. So yeah, I don't think he's looking for sympathy, but you're not gonna convince anyone of your argument if your company is one of the worst examples of what you're talking about. Like, you might not be in the free to play market, but you're certainly into the nickel and diming the fuck out of people market to no end. So respect Shiggy, but fuck off. The hell is that? Remember when Microsoft went on a spending spree here at E3 and bought up like 5 or 6 studios?
Yep.
So one of them was Playground Games, which is the group who does the Forza Horizon series, and we talked about that being probably one of the best pickups that they had. So at Gamescom, there was some talk, real peripheral, vague talk about what it is that they're working on, but the hints that we were given is that it is a huge game, and it is a very much exclusive huge game, and people were trying to work it out of them if it was Fable, and the way that things were they were acting around those questions, it's making some people think that perhaps the first game that's going to come out of Playground Games is going to be the next Fable. I would be interested in that for a couple of reasons. One, Fable was actually a pretty good game franchise. It wasn't bad. They did some seriously weird stuff with it after Fable 3. They did some really odd shit with it, but it was a pretty good game franchise. Had a lot of potential. It was kind of unique. It was just a pretty good experience. And so seeing somebody that isn't Lionhead take reins for Fable, I would be interested in seeing what that would end up being. If it's not Fable, I have no idea what the hell it is. They're making it seem like it isn't necessarily a brand new IP. I'm guessing it's Fable.
Yeah.
For sure. What would you be interested in another Fable, or does Fable go right off your radar?
It goes right. It just goes from one end. I feel like if I'm going to play a Fable-like game, I'll go play Horizon Zero Dawn, which just seems like a better type of Fable type game, like a newer, revamped Fable in a way.
It's definitely a bit of a more elaborate kind of deal. I mean, if you're asking me if I would, at the end of the day, if I would rather play Horizon Zero Dawn or Fable, I'm going to say Horizon Zero Dawn every time anyway, but I mean, it's kind of an unfair comparison at this point in the game, but yeah, I mean, I could see that for sure. For sure.
I just don't care. I just don't care about Fable. Never did. I actually own all of them on the 360, but I haven't played all of them. Played the first one, didn't even beat it. And
first one was pretty good. Second one, I think, is the best of the series. Third one was some sub mediocre fuckery. that really wasn't anything to write home about. It was just, it had John Cleese in it, so I felt obligated to play it. And so I did, and as expected, John Cleese was the best part of Fable 3. Everything else about it was pretty dumb. There was like one skill that I found that I could just spam and I just win every fight. Didn't have to try. Close my eyes, spam the button, win. So it was pretty much a fail in that regard. But hey, John Cleese.
Sure.
So there you have it. But yeah, that's what they're rumored anyway. We'll see what happens. We'll hear more about it later. But for now, they're keeping tight-lipped about it. I don't really care what they do. I'm just interested in what a game from Playground Games looks like, since all I really know of them is Forza Horizon, which is, to do anything other than a racing game is a pretty dramatic change. Like, there's not really very many genres that you could skip from one to the other and be like, yeah, that's pretty. You go from driving game to literally anything else. It's a pretty big change. Yeah. So I'm interested in that regard for sure. And I'm sure that all of Microsoft's shareholders are also waiting with bated breath about what the hell some of these exclusives are going to be to hopefully sell some consoles. Speaking of hardware, Nvidia had their conference this week about their 2000 series graphics cards. People have been waiting on this bad boy for a while. A lot of 10 series card holders going, please God, I'm so close to 4K. I can smell it, but this 1080 Ti just doesn't quite get me there. Just fucking give me something that I can remortgage my house to buy and have 4K. Just please God. And so when the guy got out on stage, he started talking, and he went on and on and on and on and on and on about ray tracing. People started to go, all right, we might be fucked here. And sure enough, it looks like it's probably not going to be the savior that everyone was hoping for. We obviously don't have perfect tests for it yet, but the early reports are it even has some problems with 1080p for whatever reason. That could be a driver issue. But it's definitely not looking like the massive leap, at least right now. Who knows? Maybe a driver solves all these problems, but it's looking like it's not going to be the thing that people want to dive in on if you have a 10 series card already.
Sure.
However, I will say that despite that, I can appreciate what they're doing. Ray tracing, if you watch the demo for what it's going to do, it's probably three to 5 years from being a standard of any kind in the first place in terms of a graphical thing. But it makes a shocking difference in graphic fidelity. I mean, it's probably the closest thing to when we went from PlayStation 2 to the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era, or even, going from the SNES to the N64, for example, just the leap in what technology looked like. That's how big of a difference it is. And if you don't know what ray tracing is, it's basically right now with the lighting systems in graphical engines, for the most part, the artists have to fake a lot of shit. They have to look at how the player is going to be approaching the scene and make some judgment calls based on the tools that the engine that they have is giving them, and then they fake a lot of shit and make a best guess. And it ends up with a lot of bad lighting, not a lot of realistic looking stuff, unless you're in a really tightly controlled environment where they can really control how the player is looking at stuff. Ray tracing automates much more realistic lighting for the entire scene, all in real time, all the time. So, and if you wanted to see it, they obviously, like I had said, they have demos for it, and it will do justice to what I'm trying to tell you. But imagine just shooting out just I don't know, millions and millions and millions of rays of light.
Fireworks.
And then calculating mathematically based on whatever those things are hitting and the angle and everything else, how that surface that it hits needs to reflect, refract, whatever that light pass through, and to what degree, all of those things, all in real time, to give you something that looks way more fucking realistic. Not even close. And so when it gets put into place and it becomes more of a standard, it's going to make games look, honest to God, fucking 1,000. Like, the uncanny valley is probably going to get a lot worse for a while people adjust to it, because it really does make that big of a difference. But we're like 3 fucking years away minimum from that really being something that's standard enough that you go out and buy a graphics card because it has ray tracing capabilities. So if you're a first adopter, you're spending a shitload of money for what will probably be 3 games in the next year and a half, 2 years. That will probably have questionable performance because it's still early tech. And then for everyone that's looking for performance for gaming hardware or gaming software stuff as it is now, like what we're dealing with now, it doesn't seem, at least at this point, that it's going to be such a huge jump that you want to like jump right into it. Unless you're running a really old fucking graphics card, then obviously you don't like go out and buy a 10 series. You likely go out and buy this 2000 series. So yeah, it thumbs up for the tech, because it's going to change things dramatically. Just not right now. Thumbs down for the right now, because right now it's not really looking all that great, and they're still charging huge amounts of money for the card. The 2080 Ti is like $1,200 US starting. That's for a Founders Edition. So you're looking at like 1,600 Canadian, probably $1,599.
Mortgage payments.
You're getting up there, right? And so yeah, we'll have to see what happens when the third party cards come out and people really start testing how good the cards are and the drivers mature a bit. But for now, it's not looking like it's what everybody was necessarily hoping for. And a lot of people are now pulling even more so for AMD and their graphics cards to try and come up and, I don't want to say undercut, but just create cards that are more price to performance for what we have now, and not worrying about 5 years from now, but actually giving us price to performance increases now. So we'll see how that kind of all unfolds. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Remember when Amazon Prime was worth owning? It was a great year. But the year is over, and now Amazon Prime is basically shit. So just
I don't know about shit. Come on.
Dude, in Canada,
don't be that guy.
In Canada, it's shit. It's absolute garbage. The amount of stuff that you can still get in the States, you could make an argument for still having Amazon Prime. In Canada, unless you are ordering a lot of stuff, because really the only thing you're getting benefit-wise in Canada at this point is a castrated Amazon video and 2-day shipping. So unless you are ordering a substantial amount,
and the Twitch subscription,
right? Except the Twitch Prime now, they took away the benefits from that. So you get advertisements again, which is pretty shit. So they did all this at the same time. Twitch sent out an email to everyone explaining what the changes were for the Twitch Prime things. And then Amazon came out and said, okay, guys, a couple things. One, no more 20% off new pre-orders for games on Amazon Prime in the States, which means in Canada, which was already reduced to 10%, is now also 0. Any kind of purchases in that regard, you're going to get a $10 Amazon voucher, but you get it upwards of 35 days after your purchase is shipped to you. Some random time you get your $10, but it's basically like Amazon bucks. It's like Canadian Tire money. It's like you can only use it at Canadian Tire, and you don't get that much of it that you're going to use it, right off the rip all the time. You got to kind of start accruing stuff, and it's a delayed system. So, yeah, they did that while also cutting out the secondary benefit of Twitch Prime on Twitch, which was the no ads for people. Obviously, you still have your free $5 subscription to give to people, at least for now. I mean, that's the core concept of the Twitch Prime subscription. So hopefully that doesn't get cut down any further. But I'm surprised they didn't come out and say like, yeah, you get to sub, but the streamer only gets, less of a cut than they would of a normal normal subscription, which it wouldn't even shock me if that was the next move. that's coming, because Amazon has over the last couple of years been kind of like chipping away at all of their benefits for their programs, just slowly kind of clawing back on it, because Amazon is basically riding the red line all the fucking time, forever and ever. So they're just looking for ways to save money. And so yeah, that was another thing that happened this week. So Twitch people, just in case you didn't already know, if you start seeing ads where you didn't before, it's because they changed that. Yeah, so there you have it. So on Twitch was reiterating, look guys, you can still get no ads. It's called, Twitch Turbo, which is a phrase I haven't used in a long time. But it is available.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I'm not as on the negative as you are, and what some people are about it. I understand whenever you're taking something from somebody, they're just like, they're like, fuck you. I listen, an Amazon Prime membership costs here in Canada like $100 a year. If you're buying anything on Amazon, which most people that are using Amazon Prime are buying things from Amazon. I mean, even if you weren't normally buying things on Amazon, if you've got it, you just end up using it. I know I do. Whenever I'm buying something online, I just buy on Amazon and I get Amazon Prime. It's here within 2 days. Because most of the stuff comes from Ontario. So it's here. So not only do you get the fast shipping still, but you also get that subscription for Twitch. And yes, you might have to watch ads now. I don't know how many streamers actually play ads these days. I really, and that's like a legit question. And I'm not just saying that because, I don't run ads. I just don't run ads. So for people that are Twitch primed to my channel, it's not going to make a difference because I'm not going to run ads regardless. You'll see like the opening ad when you first come into the stream, and that there's just no getting around that, but that's just kind of industry standard, I guess. But beyond that, who really runs ads? Like who has ad breaks? And if they do, it's usually when they're going to the bathroom and they're either getting up or they're stretching or going to grab some food upstairs, and they'll run a set of ads or whatever.
It's usually people who are part of teams or who are part of specific sponsorships and things of that nature.
But I mean, even still, like a lot of the teams, they usually have ads that aren't even regular ads. Like we're not talking where you just physically put in 30-second ads. It's kind of like the World Vision thing that we have.
Yeah, you have your own videos. Yep.
You're gonna and if no matter if you're Twitch Prime or not, you're gonna see those ads. You're gonna see the overlays. You're gonna see the promotional plug. I know TSM's been like shilling out like Deadpool and a few like Geico or Greco or whatever the fuck. And they or Domino's, I don't know, some pizza thing. And it doesn't matter if you're Twitch Prime or not. They know that not only do everybody or just about everybody use ad block, but if they don't, they have Twitch Prime anyway, so they're not worried about it. So then they just make ads outside the ads. So I really don't think that's an issue. I really don't at all. To maybe a select few people, they might make a stink, but I think it's another one of those things where we're talking about, the transgender, Irkin people, where it seems like there's some reaching going on. It seems like there's some bitching for the sake of bitching. Now, I know it's a bit of an extreme, but it's sort of the same idea where it's like, okay, guys, they're getting rid of the no ads. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Turn on your ad block. And I bet you're already using one anyway. And which streamers actually run ads on the regular? What kind of dumb-ass streamer is taking the time out of their stream to run ads in the middle of whatever they're doing? If ads are being ran, like I said, if they're away from the computer or it's at the end of the stream, I know a lot of streamers that do that. It's the end and they're like, see you guys, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm just going to run a couple 3-minute ads. If you want to stick around, stick around. If not, bye-bye. And that's usually how it's done. And that's it. Nobody, this is not 5-6 years ago when everybody was typing in slash commercial every 20 minutes to make money when ads actually were worth something. They're not worth anything anymore. So I don't think that's the big deal. I can see the 20% off on the pre-order purchases. That might be pissing off some people and could be a big reason why they got it in the first place. If they buy a lot of games, saving 20% here and there throughout the year, that could pay for your membership depending on how many games you buy. But I still think if you're spending the $100 and you're a Canadian, once again, I don't know about all the US, and I know that Twitch Prime still has extra things that they give to consumers for different games and promotional things that they got going on. So do I still think the value's there? Absolutely. Not only that, let us remember, all right, guys, and get the dick out of your ass for a minute. And I really want you to think about this. And Adam, same thing with you, because when you come on here and you start bitching and complaining that it's not worth it for people to have, you're taking money out of your own pocket. Because let us remember, since Twitch Prime, people's subscription rates have gone up so much. I mean, we're talking like anywhere from a minimal 30% to 1,000% in the amount of subscriptions people get. So if any streamer is out there bitching and complaining, they ought to lose their partnership, because the amount of money that Amazon has put in their pockets from this little thing, and how they've managed to get it to be almost a standard where people are using their primes on people and getting memberships. They're going, well, listen, I'm going to subscribe to Adam or Jeff anyway. I may as well get a Twitch Prime. I'm going to get the benefits from using Amazon. I'm going to save $5 a month from my subscription, because I'd be paying $5 a month anyway to subscribe. So now right there in the run of a year, I'm saving what, $60? And now I'm paying a $40 difference for my Amazon Prime, and I get all these added benefits. That's not a problem. I don't know who in the right mind is complaining. Now, for the people that are just using it for 20% off, well, then you're the fool for not taking advantage of the Twitch Prime and some of the other small things. Yes, they're taking away some stuff. Yes, it is normal practice for companies to go above and beyond when they're introducing a new wave of things. And that's what Amazon did. They gave the world to everybody. They're obviously losing money in some way or just break even. And their hopes were that you'd forget that you have a Twitch Prime sub, and yet you don't actually sub to myself or to you, so that they can pocket that money and not have to fork out a portion of it to the streamer. So, and that's why they don't do an automatic resub for Twitch Prime. So they're smart about that. If you want to complain about something, and this is where I will play devil's advocate a little bit, because there is something that Twitch is doing that is upsetting me. It isn't anything insanely crazy, but I will say it. The hidden sauce here that nobody's talking about, what Twitch is doing and where they're gouging the streamers and they're getting a kickback, is all these new gifted subs, where you can buy 100 gifted subs and gift them to your streamers. You can buy 10 gifted subs and gift it to random people and do that. Now, that is a great gesture, and I love the fact it's sort of one end. It's a double-edged sword, so to speak. You got one side where, if you're a big streamer and you've got a lot of viewers, you're going to benefit greatly from that. And if you're a small streamer, I mean, really any streamer could benefit from that, where somebody just goes, you know what, I'm going to make this guy's day and gift him 25 subs. 25 random people are going to get a subscription. We'll say, 5 or 10% continue that anniversary. I like to call it the starter pack. So some people, when they get gifted that, they kind of feel like, well, shit, I've already started this. I'm going to continue it on my own next month, because usually people aren't there to re-gift you again. So I call it the starter pack. But here's the part where it upsets me a little bit. And Twitch, I know they know what they're doing. And I don't know if I haven't seen anybody complain about this, but I see it clear as day. Twitch is finding out a way to tap in to donation money. It's the one thing that Twitch cannot tap into directly without creating a massive fuckstorm. and they've come in with the bits, right? So we've seen them come in where you can pay Twitch, and Twitch takes a cut. And their argument is, well, we're going to make sure that there's no fraud. People can't do chargebacks and all this stuff. That's all bullshit, because if any real streamer now, you can fight that to the nines. You don't have to give any money back. PayPal has cut down. They basically,
you don't even have to fight it. You just go to PayPal. You go to PayPal. You go, hey PayPal, somebody's fucking up. They go, okay,
yeah, and
they
that's
press
it.
a button and you're done.
And that's it. So like before, when this was all new and PayPal was like, whoa, what's going on? Yeah, that was an issue. But now it's not an issue. So they came in with the bits. But the gifting of the subs is a genius way for Twitch to dig into donation money, because people only have so much money to spend. So between the bits and gifting people subs, not only does the viewer feel as though, A, they're helping the streamer, which they are, absolutely, and it's amazing and it's appreciated. But what Twitch has done is they're finding ways to tap into the extra money that the viewer will be giving to the streamer directly, and finding ways to siphon out to get a cut of every dollar that's coming in. That's what pissed me off a little bit, where I'm going, I wouldn't even say pissed me off, but it's rubbing me the wrong way. And I'm going, well, what is Twitch going to do next? What is Twitch going to do next? Are they going to buy out Streamlabs? And are they going to then go, we're going to take a small percentage of every donation that comes through? Or what is Amazon going to do next to try and get a piece of the pie? The Twitch Prime thing, I think, is just a benefit. I think them going and cutting back was to be expected from the amount of stuff that they were giving out. But this whole gifting thing, when somebody's gifting 100 subs or 50 subs, is that same person now going to donate $100 or $300? Do they have the money to do both? Because now Twitch is taking half of that right up front, depending on your level of subscription, even if it's 70% or a 30%. They're taking that 30% cut of a potential $100 that you should have had completely. And the only thing that you should have been paying is the PayPal fees. That's it. So Twitch knows what they're doing, and they're slowly trying to impede on that extra bit of money. And maybe it's because ad revenue and the amount of people that are using ad block has gone, like 3 years ago, it was like 70-something%. God only knows what it is now. But, I don't know what you feel about that or whatever. But when it comes to the Twitch Prime, people losing out, I think there's a bit of an overreaction. Yes, it's disappointing, but most certainly streamers cannot complain, because if there's one thing that Twitch has done very well for us, it's that Twitch Prime. It has helped a lot. In fact, that's helped streamers go full time. Like that's made jobs straight up.
Yeah, because it's a couple of things. Yeah. We crossed over topics. So the first thing was
there's two.
My complaints about the Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime thing was more about for the people who aren't in our sphere, just the people who are just normal ass people using the Prime service. It wasn't. I don't. When it comes to losing out or having advertisements show or whatever, it's an annoyance. It's not the end of the world, because, like you said, ad block. Obviously, now you don't. There are ad blocks on mobile phones, but they're not that ubiquitous, and they're not that great. So and mobile views are a pretty massive chunk of viewership. So there is like some downside to it. And Twitch does have a habit of showing some pretty fucking lengthy ass ads sometimes. But otherwise, it's not. I'm not really all that concerned about that portion. It was more about on the Amazon Prime service, especially for the States. So here in Canada, for example, we might be losing the 10%, which we had on the new game pre-purchase or whatever. But thankfully, I think right now we're $79 or $89 a year. I think.
Yeah.
Here in Canada, for
it's
the services, and it's debatable how much, depending on how much of the services that you utilize of that as a normal. Excuse me,
but
normal
I mean,
shopper.
we're talking about the gaming world here. This is a gaming podcast. We're talking the gaming community.
I get that.
The email was for us, not for the world.
No. Well, yeah, I'm talking about a bit. Well, I mean, the game community is also the ones that are cashing in on the 20%, 10% gaming credit. Obviously, is
of course, and the free sub
and the free sub stuff. So like I get that, but just in general, in the States, Amazon Prime is or already has been increased in price. The new price is $120 a year in the States versus the $79 or whatever here. And obviously they get more benefits than we do in Canada. And so depending on how much of those services that you use, it may or may not be worth it anymore. It's not necessarily, I shouldn't frame it as a complaint so much as it might change the demographics for people who are actually using Prime when you remove a thing like that, because it was pretty hefty. People who, for example, order a lot from Amazon and maybe make use of the Kindle library in the States, for example, that we don't have here in Canada, which is fucking huge, where you're basically getting books and reading them for free, like you would in a library for all intents and purposes. Stuff like that added value is still there in the States, and depending on how much you use it, it could definitely still be worth it. But it is taking away, and it usually ends up alienating a part of the market for better or worse. When it comes to what you just talked about, it's, I mean, obviously Twitch has to come up with some way of tapping into the market of
gaming.
Of the donations.
Oh, you're talking about that, yes.
Yeah, so they have to come up with a way to make that happen, and they've, like you said, with bits.
Well, they don't have to go where they're going, right? Like, because they did it with the bits, and that was the way of them. That's a blatant donation to Twitch.
Sure,
that's what that is, right?
Sure.
There's no value in that at all, because the Streamlabs does the same thing. The Streamlabs makes the animations on the screen and makes noise. The only thing is they got a little.
They have a badge.
There's a badge, and they have a donation competition. I mean, they're literally using, the competition of the PIR. Something that I've done forever.
Well, it's the same system that people have been using with donations for years, for sure.
Yes.
And it is the most blatant, infringement's such a harsh word to use.
I know it is.
They're a business. They're gonna fucking do it. It's just way. It's the same as Amazon cutting out the shit we just talked about. It's their way of making more money on the as to what's available. If you're sitting back and you're Twitch and you're looking at how much donation money is rolling through on a daily basis,
it's a lot.
There are people who are going to be getting promotions, just coming up with ideas for how to chip away at that piece of the pie. That's like people's entire jobs. They're probably getting paid salaries to come up with how do we get more donation money to come through us before it hits the streamer.
Yes.
And so they're doing that with the sub gifting 100%. It's a less obvious ploy than bits by miles, but at the end of the day, it is about there's only so many dollars that an individual is going to have, and then it comes down to the value proposition for the person giving you the money. And the argument that Twitch would probably make would be a similar argument that somebody might make for, let's say, pirating video games. Money that they spent on gifting subs was never going to be donated to you because they didn't see the value in giving you directly that $100, but they did see the social value of donating 20 subscriptions and having all that shit show up on screen and having a badge or having the thing, all the added benefits that Twitch show you. They see that value, and so that would probably be the argument: is they might have donated you $50 or $25, but they weren't going to see the value in 100. But now they've just spent 100 on subs to gift.
Yeah, and half of it's going to Twitch,
and obviously Twitch gets their cut. But that's going to be their argument is that you were never going to see that full $100. That would be their argument. The same with pirating was somebody who pirates a game was never interested in buying the game in the first place. Which has been the argument for piracy and using DRM software in your games. Like, look, you're hurting the people that actually play your game.
I get that. I get that argument, but you could also flip it the other way because they're blatantly. And I'm okay with it. Like, you know, I'm just saying, like, people are complaining about this. They should be complaining about this because this is this thing is much bigger, in my opinion, than the Amazon Prime issue for people of Twitch. So,
well, streamers aren't losing money because people are seeing ads, you know, from their Twitch Prime subs or anything like that.
But to get back to that, it's like, okay, I see what you're saying, but it's also a thing where, say, for example, you're coming to my place and you're like, I need to stop and get some food. And you feel like Subway. You're gonna grab a sub.
Always.
Right. And so you're driving here and you go to the same Subway every time you come over and everything is good and this Subway's packed. You know, the money that this Subway is making is fat. And then you've got, you know, Twitch that is going, hey, you know what? I'm in the sub making business, but I'm just not hitting. I don't have a Subway, you know, before this Subway. You know, I need to get on that path so that I need to create a distraction. I need to put a roadblock here and give people a decision because they never really had much of a decision before. If they wanted Subway, right? If they wanted to donate, they were going to donate to the streamer. Well, now I'm going to put something in there, but I'm going to mask it as something else. So next thing you know, they put in their own sub making spot and they do it just before or, you know, right around, maybe even on the same fucking block, on the same strip mall.
Next
door. But now you've got an option. And you're used to doing something, and you know that this Subway tastes good and it's busy and they're going to make it fresh. But now you've got something else. But instead, over here at this sub place, when you order a sub, everybody in the room cheers and says that you're an awesome person. And that the sub choice that you got, the exact same sub that you got next door, this time you get a pat on the back and they're going to put your name up on the wall and they're going to put a little badge beside it. And what they've done is sure, you can make the argument, well, they were never going to spend the money. Well, yes, they were going to spend the money. The money was being spent, whether it was being spent right now, right here, on a donation, or it was going to be spent through a subscription. That is money, and we both know that we're in an industry, and it's human nature, right? Most of us want to spend our money. We just need a reason to spend our money. You're going to get behind something. Listen, you got your wallet. You're just that whole thing. Shut up and take my money. Just shut up and take my money. You're going to take it. And while Twitch knows that people are going to keep supporting their streamer, they're using that very thing that they know that the person loves the streamer. Listen, if Twitch also had a thing where they go, hey, we can do the gifted sub, but you know what's cool about this gifted sub is if you do it this way, we don't take a cut. They get 100% of the money. They're going to choose that option every day over an option where Twitch gets a cut every day, all the time, because they don't give a fuck about supporting Twitch. Them being on the website and watching the streamer is big enough support as it is. Their ads are running, you know, they're on the site, they're wearing the whatever. People are not there to give money to Twitch. It's Twitch's job to find ways to siphon money out of the consumer. And in my opinion, the way I look at it is that's exactly what they're doing here. Is the money was going to be spent, Adam. You and I both know the money was going to be spent one way or another. Whether it happens on that stream or it happens on another stream, the money is being spent. It's just they're creating roadblocks and ways for you to spend the money before you get to the final destination. It's like rent is due at the end of the month. But you better stay the fuck away from the mall because you have a really bad tendency of spending money that you shouldn't spend before you're actually going to spend that money. Money's going. The money is gone. It's already there. It's being spent. But they're just creating as many fucking roadblocks and as many badges and as many visual cues for you to pick another thing before the end product, and that is scrolling underneath the stream, clicking on that Streamlabs tab, and putting in the amount of money. And that's what they're doing. They're finding ways on the website to stimulize, to make the
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like, to use your analogy. So you've got a straight road fucking straight 1 kilometer long road. And at the other end of that road is your donut shop or your sub shop or whatever you want to have, whatever you find is great and good.
Yes.
And then you leave the house and you can technically see it.
Yes.
Because it's pretty close. And you know that that's what you want. So you start taking your car, maybe you bike, maybe you walk, depends on how healthy you feel like being that day. Mm-hmm. And Twitch is putting up more and more giant flashing neon signs.
Yes.
Between you and and what you can see. It's there.
It's there. It's
and you
right
can
there.
see it. There's a little distance you have to go. But Twitch is putting up all these flashing neon signs that have arrows that go to the left and the right side of the straight 1 kilometer road that you're trying to get to.
Yes.
To distract you to go do some other thing. You know, go try our donut shop over here. Go do this. And we have a road that takes you to where you want to go, but it's just going to take you, over here first. Yes. And you might not have as much money to go to, to spend at the donut shop, but damn it, our hot dogs are pretty good.
Yep.
And it's just more and more signs. This is another neon sign. So we had the bits, loads of neon. Come on over here. See all the flashing animations. See a PogChamp do I'm a firing my laser animation gif. Have it fucking flash up on screen at little fucking bedazzlers like they're fucking doing up their shoes before going to a rave. Just all this shit showing up on screen. Then we have the gifted subs, and it was a little sign. It wasn't a big sign, it was a little one.
Yep, a little one.
And then not 3 to 4 feet after that was a mammoth fucking sign that said, here, you could donate up to 6 million fucking subs at the same time. Come on over here. We've got you covered.
Yes.
Do you like the feeling of subscribing to your streamer that you love so dearly? Do you like the feeling of having your name pop up on screen and the music plays and the epic hype fucking animation shows up that your streamer personalized just for you? What if we had that and we gave you the ability to have that shit show up on stream 20 fucking times back to back to back to back?
Yes.
How good would that feel?
Yes.
And you get fucking over there and you buy it.
That's what it is.
Because it feels good.
That's the way I look at it. And listen, I'm not mad about it at all. I'm not I get it. And that just makes me work harder to stand out or educate people. And listen, I'm not angry about it because it's still a positive thing. The streamer is still making money.
Yeah.
Money is still we don't have much room to overly complain. We're very, very fortunate to even have somebody in our community that's willing to spend any extra money on us as it is. I'm just saying, I see what they're doing. And this newest thing where you're gifting 100, come on. You're going to gift 100 subs and they're all going to queue up on Streamlabs.
Yep.
This is so blatant. It's so over the top that it's insane, right? This isn't just gifting one sub, which made sense. This is gifting 25 and 100 of them at once, and you don't even get a discount for doing it. You don't even get hey,
there's
we'll
no
give you
bulk burn discount on this.
There's no bulk discount on it.
It's not Costco.
You're paying full price, bitch, and we're gonna take our cut. That's what it is. There's no extra added benefit except for the streamer going, and it's genius, dude. It's genius because they're doing literally what us streamers as marketers try and do to create an awesome experience for the person that's donating and the stream's reaction when big things happen. They're doing it, but they control the entire environment. They control what's popping up in the chats. They control the badges, even the number one gifter, and everything's they're learning from the streamers and they're implementing in a way to get a piece of the pie. It's genius. And to give you one last analogy, it's like going to your favorite porn site. You go to Pornhub.com and you're like, you know what? I'm going there to jerk off. It's happening, right? I'm jerking off today. You're not going there to shop on Amazon. You're going there to bust a nut, right? And so you already know what gets your rocks off. So you go to your favorite category. All right, we're going to go to big boned women. All right, we're going to the BB dubs. All right, you're looking for some big boned women today. And you go there, and what you do is you queue up a whole bunch of videos, right? You're like, oh, that thumbnail looks great. That thumbnail looks great. That thumbnail looks great. That one looks really good. It's like the right amount of time. This little intro looks good. That's the one I'm gonna spend. That's the one I'm gonna nut on right there. That's the one that's gonna bust my nut. But before you get there, you've got all these distractions. You're gonna watch this little clip. You're gonna watch this little clip. No, that's not doing it. No, that's not doing it. I watched 20 seconds of that. No, that's not doing it. But then you find this hidden one. You find this one that you're going, oh, whoa, I wasn't expecting this. And next thing you know it, you bust your nut before you get to the final clip that you knew that you were going to go to, or your go-to clip. You fucking don't get there and you bust your nut because of all these other distractions. Sure, you still busted a nut and it felt good. But at the end of the day, you know, as soon as you bust that nut and you've got it in your hand, you're going, what did I just do? You're going to close out your fucking browser. You're going to clean up and you're going to feel disgusting, right? You're going to be like, nah, shit, it's done. It's over. You're not going to go back over to the clip and watch it from just for the sake of watching it because you like the clip. That clip's dirty. It's tainted. You don't want to go near it anymore. That's what's going on here. There's a bunch of distractions. All right. And they're doing a great job at getting more and more and more pieces to the pie. And the question is, what are they going to do next to literally just gouge into every single donation that comes in? It's a very, very it's a fine line because they know they can't cross it. They know they can't just physically go in and start taking then
you would want to believe that they wouldn't be crazy enough to try and like you said, either buy Streamlabs and put a donation link right on the page. Part of the UI, which they thought about. And they've thought about many times, but they've kept thinking, they've stopped themselves and went,
no, this is not the right time.
We have to do more before we have to slip this in.
Ninja will be mad. Ninja will be mad.
We need to shake our hand over here while we slap him in the face with the other hand. We need to distract them a little more before we can pull up. That's a big move.
That's huge move.
That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate move.
That's the type of shit that Mixer gets big on, right? That's the type. Those are the mistakes where you go, oh, now this is where we're going. Okay, $1 billion company, ain't enough for you? Oh, you want to take food off my plate. So what they're doing, I can appreciate what they're doing. I'm not mad about it. I'm not dumb about it. I see it. What's going on?
You know what though? I'm a little mad about it. You know why? It's not that they're doing it. All right. I look at this like I look at taxes. Okay? If I'm going to give the government 30 to 40% of the income rolling into my bank account every year, they better be putting that money to really good fucking use. I don't want to see a random water fountain put out for a fucking G8 summit. I don't want to see pissing it away like in the States that one guy got caught spending $1,500 on Steam games and claiming it as part of his fucking, political usual fuckery, like buying toys for kids and shit. Like, I don't want to see any of that. I want to see infrastructure being put down. I want to see roads being maintained. Yes. I want to see healthcare being maintained and kept up and improved. I want to see education being taken care of. I want to see that when I'm retired, I'm not getting $4 a month to live on. I want more than that because I've been paying more of that shit in every single fucking year of my working life. If I'm going to give you money, I want, I'm living in your country. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah, I'm drawing on your services and your infrastructure, but I'm paying in. So I want to see, if you're going to take more, if you're going to come to me and say, all right, guys, I know the last guys knocked down your sales tax in Nova Scotia from 13 or like from 15 to 13%. We're going to have to put it back to 15%.
Fuck! Jesus! Right? Fix the roads, damn it! Fix the roads! I lost a tire and they ain't cheap!
Okay, if you're going to do that shit, fix the roads. And on Twitch, what were we just talking about today? Fix the fucking servers. Damn it. Come on. We've been sitting here for the last month and a half, 2 months, and every fucking server we have perfect one hop. And here where Jeff and I are, one hop between us and Twitch. And we're on fiber optic, pure fiber to our homes, not to a node and then copper into the house. There is a dude paid $80,000 a year to run a dick hair thick fiber cable into my home and plug it in. And you're going to tell me that I can't push thousands of kilobits through one hop to your servers without dropping fucking 6 minutes of stream time every hour?
Yeah.
Come on! So yeah, if you're gonna take my money, at least don't fucking kick me in the dick at the same time. Cup my balls! Caress them! Why? So yeah, I get it, and they're gonna find more ways of doing it, but improve the service. You don't get to come back and say, yeah, but your subscription numbers went up. Well, yes, they did, and I'm happy that they did. But they're also fleeting as fuck. Like if I went back and saw all the subs I lost while I took downtime and continue to take downtime to make this website I'm building happen, like 30%.
Yeah.
But that's just people not coming back to do Twitch Prime shit.
Well, that's the thing, right? And that's the other part of it, right? Because yeah, you might get gifted. Say you had like one crazy hype stream and you got gifted 300 subs, right? I look at something. I literally look at big gifted subs like donations, because it's pretty much what it is, right? So say you get half the amount, right? Say you're 50-50, you get $2.50 per sub. Somebody gifts you 100 subs, right? $50. That's a $50 donation. The reason why I count it like that and not a recurring thing is because next month, all of those people, unless they physically resub themselves, that's gone. And so what it does is it creates a false sense of like stability and where you're going, holy shit, for the first time in a long time, you know, I'm at 1,000 subs, right? It's like, holy shit, I'm at 1,000 subs. If I do the math, you know, that's $2,500 a month I'm going to make as my base pay. You know, that's amazing. But then next month comes, and all of a sudden, from all those gifted subs throughout the month and all those Twitch Prime subs, you go down 30-40% because they're not resubbing. And then say 20% of them resub. So you're still going down a huge amount from where you were before. So you might have been at 1,000, but next month, now you're back down to 700 and you're trying to hold on for dear life. And then another month goes by and people just forget. They're like, oh shit, I haven't been around, you know, fucking school and work is busy. I just, you know, shit, I lost my, that's because it doesn't auto renew. The Twitch Primes don't auto renew. So it creates a false sense of security for streamers. And then they get depressed the following month when they're going, holy shit, I was doing so great. There was hype. I had this much stuff. It was going awesome.
You know what it kind of does?
Now my paycheck is a lot less. And on top of that, that donation money that would have been directly to me, now that part of that is gone because Twitch took a cut of it. And now I'm kind of left with my dick in my hands going, well, you know, what now?
You know what,
it's like starting back at square one.
You know what it kind of ironically does? You know how Twitch has been on this like positive, you know, stream thing where they've been campaigning about, you know, getting in to become a streamer on Twitch, et cetera, all that shit. And they're stressing like the whole, you know, living a healthy, balanced lifestyle when
which
you're doing
I agree with.
Which you should absolutely do. When you have Twitch Prime come in and you're going to talk it up as a major benefit for partners and use it and hold it over streamers' heads as to, yeah, look what we're doing for you. Don't complain if we fuck with some shit. Then when you look at the fact that it turns sub counts into these massive fluctuating things, and obviously streamers have to take their finances into their own hands.
Of course.
But what it ironically does is it reinforces the culture of never wanting to not be online, because you don't want to miss out on people coming back to re-enable their Twitch Prime subs, and in order for you to do that, you pretty much have to be on all the fucking time.
I'll be honest.
To remember that.
For me now, like, you know, for me, I go, okay, you know, I take a lot more time off than what I used to years ago. It's just, I'm at a different point in my life. I'm doing new things and I'm just enjoying it. You know, I worked hard. I don't have to be a slave to this career like I used to. If I did, sure, it would pay off more financially, but at some point it's not all about that. And I get it. So what I do now is, usually I'll take on average 2 days off a week. And if I have 2 days off a week and I come back and my subs are down 30 or 40 or sometimes 50 or 60 subs, depending on, if Mr. Miyagi showed up one day and gifted 80 subs over the span of 3 days, and then that time
cycles
next
through.
month cycles through and I'm down 80 subs, what I physically do now, and I have no shame about it, and I think every streamer should do it, is you should just tell people. You should just tell people, hey, if you haven't already used your Twitch Prime sub, now's the time, or in a way that's, I'll have a good game of StarCraft and I'll be like, guys, if that ain't worth the Twitch Prime sub, I don't know what is. It's like a little subtle hint of asking people, hey, remember that Twitch Prime sub that you have that you probably forgot about renewing or not thinking about it? Hey, lurker in the background that's just listening, there is the Twitch Prime thing. And next thing you know, I've got like 4 Twitch Primes that instantly come through where I'm going, oh, is that okay? It's that easy. But a lot of streamers, and you nailed it right on the head, is you said they're responsible for their own income. They're responsible to run their business in a way that's not on Twitch, right? Twitch is going to do Twitch. It's up to the streamer to understand what Twitch is doing. And yes, there are benefits, big benefits to the Twitch Prime, and big benefits to the gifting of stuff, of subs, and even bits. I've made decent money off bits, not something that I really advertise or anything, but I've probably made 10 grand off bits since the beginning of bits. So, I mean, I can't complain. Now, would I have gotten that 10 grand through donations? Probably. But who knows? But then again, the people that are doing it had to pay Twitch an extra. They had to pay more for the same value, essentially, right? So that extra more could have just went to me, or it could have been money that the individual saved. And of course, like we mentioned before, there are those things that go on with the pop-ups, and you are paying for that value, and people do enjoy that. And I get that's part of the thing, but it is 150% up to the streamer to ride those waves and understand them, that they are going to come. And you have to get into the mindset, and just to shamelessly plug it, I'm writing a book right now all about that stuff. So that's my mission with this, is because we talk about this stuff all the time on this podcast, about the intricacies of Twitch, and we talk more about the negative than the positive, which seems kind of like a shitty thing to do, because it really is a great job, but it's the main reason is because you and I both know that there's a lot more than what meets the eye.
People already see all the positive.
They already see the good.
That's why they want to do it in the first place. Nobody's out there. Nobody's out there hearing all the real shit going, fuck yeah, I want to be bent over like that. Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So yeah,
no,
that's
100%.
That's why we end up focusing on the negative.
We come off negative, and trust me, I love Twitch. Twitch is great. They've been fucking amazing to me. They've treated me well. I've been here since day one. I'm not going anywhere. I love the platform. But I'm not going to be ignorant to some of the stuff that goes on, and I'm not going to pretend that it's perfect, and I'm not going to pretend that it's all like, hey, hey, I bought a fucking $100,000 car. Thanks, Twitch. It's not just that. It's what the fuck happened from point A to point Z and all of the things. There's a reason why not every streamer can do some of the things that certain streamers do. And it's because there's a business here. There's so much to discuss that isn't being discussed. And it's not being discussed, obviously, from Twitch, because they obviously don't want the negativity out there, and they want this. It's like Disney, right? They don't want to talk about some of the dark things that has happened within it. You want to just kind of bury it and push all the funny Mickey Mouse and all the great things that go on, and it's awesome and it's wonderful, and that's great. And for most people, they don't care about the struggles of a streamer. They don't. That's not what they're there for. They're there to have a good time. They don't want to be there to listen to us bitch about our job. And some people do find it interesting, but the reality of it is, when you have massive influencers like Ninja just being one of them, or big people from TSM, you know, they are role models for hundreds of thousands and millions of kids and adults all alike to want to be part of this thing, whether it's at a full-time basis, a part-time basis, or a hobby thing. They love it. It's the glitz, the glamour of it. When you're watching even me stream and you see I made $1,000 in a day and you just went and worked for 2 weeks and you don't even have that type of money, and you haven't even made that type of money, or you watch Ninja play and you see him make $100,000 in a day, or he has 250,000 subscribers and you're doing the math and it's $500,000 a month, and listen, whether you think about it or not, that is getting ingrained in your brain, and you're seeing this, and you start to you start to judge things by just its appearance, and you think, oh, it's just that easy, or oh, it's just this, and oh, you know, I work a real job and you blah blah blah. And I get that. I totally get that. But most people, when they get into it, they realize that it isn't what it seems, and there's a lot of hurdles that you need to cross, and there's a lot of roll. You mentioned it perfectly. It's the swings, man. It's the ups and downs of it, and all it takes is for you to fucking just give up on one of those downswings, or go into this streamer depression for more than a week or two, and it just lowers you that much more. And then you get back on and you're going, holy fuck, I'm never gonna get back to even where I was before, and I wasn't even happy where I was before. And now the Twitch and Primes have gone down even more, and now they found someone like Ninja who's awesome and it's amazing, and they're using. That's the struggles, man. And you're like describing the gambler problem.
That's what it is. It's the same thing where you're down, and then you're like, all right, but if I just go in and do the same shit, you start chasing losses. But the difference between spending money is you just go out and you let everyone else see that you're getting beat up about the situation.
Yes.
And it results in the same thing. You're still throwing money away in both situations, and you're not bettering sometimes you have to cut your losses. Like you have to understand that sometimes it's going to be a downswing and you have to come back out of it. But like you can't just double down on it all the time, or you're going to get absolutely wrecked.
You're going to get absolutely hammered. And so that's what I'm planning on doing right now is I just said, fuck it. I had enough. I had so many people making questions, asking questions. And the big thing for me, and the reason why I wanted to do this, is because I've been noticing the things on Twitch with those like, oh, you know, here's a streamer telling you, you know, how, you know, just to have fun with games, and oh, you do this and there's nice uppity music and everything's cool, which I get it. It's a fun campaign. It's not meant to be whatever. But I think people need to realize that, yes, it's an amazing job. It really fucking is. It's incredible. But before you get into this, you need to really know what you're getting yourself into, and you got to prepare yourself mentally, and you got to understand the game, because that's what this is. It's a game. It's a chess. And also there's an element now of luck to it as well, because it's such a greater element of luck, or a greater element of luck. Correct. Yeah. Not full luck, but a greater element of luck, because it's so saturated. Yeah. So, you know, that's why I'm doing it. I'm going to write the book, and I'm going to do an audio book on it.
You're going to write a book. You know, one of the first things I was going to write for my website relaunch was just a couple of articles, because I get asked about it. I was just going to write a couple pages. This motherfucker's over here writing a book.
I'm literally writing a book.
I was gonna do a couple of essays and call it a day. This guy's out here writing a book. I'm gonna have to link to your book at the bottom of my essays.
Yeah. And I'm gonna interview a bunch of different streamers and get their you know, their thoughts on it. And I've looked on Amazon and all this other stuff, and there are no books about Twitch and how it really works, about how to start a stream. You know, if you want to, how to get there, if you want to be full-time, part-time, a hobby, talking about sponsorships, overlays, equipment, donations, you know, subscriptions, how you make money, how to get an agent, how to make everything that there is to do about the business. That I also think people may just find interesting as well. And then obviously intertwining that with stories of us and what we've done and what I've done, and make it interesting in its own way. And I think people will get a lot. If anything, they'll have a full understanding of it, And you never know, maybe Twitch or a PAX East or a TwitchCon, maybe they'll let me go in and talk about this and advertise the book and the audiobook and have little webinars or seminars.
Have your little panel.
Yeah, have
your
a
little
book
panel
signing,
for it.
Like,
oh my God.
And you know, it could help a lot of people. It's like, it's common sense, and it's one of the few things in life that I know a lot about and that I think I'm an expert on because I've been doing it. And there's no other book or even YouTube channel that is completely like for one place to get all the information, the real shit. And this won't be me shitting on Twitch by any means, because it's actually going to be a motivating book to motivate you to stream. But it's to look at it in a place that you don't fall down those dark streamer paths, because everybody knows a streamer that has gotten depressed about what they do, and they go on Twitter and they just start venting, and it's like
bad rants on Twitter.
And we've all done it, like, you know, or in our own way, and or lashed out at somebody in chat from just the pressures of being, you know, an entrepreneur and in this line of work where you don't have a boss telling you what to do. And the boss above you, the guy at Twitch, is making it tougher and tougher on you to survive in an environment that's super competitive. And you know, that's just how she is. But I'll keep you guys updated on that and talk a little bit about it another time.
But process.
It'll be a process.
This is so weird. You would think, so you're doing voice acting. I'm going to be focusing more on voiceover. You're doing a book that people would probably assume I would be the one to write the technical book on, but I'm writing a book that's like fiction that people would probably think you would be writing fiction.
Oh, you're making like characters and fucking
we're doing the complete and polar fucking opposite of what. And I guess maybe that's just because we have an outlet for different ways. If I do any more technical shit, my eyes are going to bleed. I need to stop doing that shit.
Well, for me, it is going to be a lot of technical stuff, but I'm going to use my own humor and
obviously it's going to be anecdotes. It's not going to be a textbook, but you're going to have anecdotes and stuff. But you know what I mean? I'm writing fiction. You're writing. I'm writing fiction. You're writing nonfiction. Is I guess the easy way to put that. Yeah,
self-help type, informative.
Who's that
motivational?
Who's that really like stereotypical like the self-help guy? What's his name?
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. That's
I'm gonna be the Tony Robbins of streaming. You know what I'm saying? You can do it.
Oh my God.
Just wake up and grind.
That dude has made so much money being one of the fakest motherfuckers. Oh my God.
Fucking grind. Stop worrying about all the small shit. It's called streaming for a reason. So stream. Just stream. That's it.
Fucking amazing. 10 out of 10. I have absolutely no segue to this, and I probably should have put it before, knowing that we would have talked more about the Amazon thing. But a Japanese firm expects the PlayStation 5 at the end of 2019.
Fun.
Possibly 2020. There you go.
Yeah. That's kind of when we thought, right?
That's what I said, that I was pretty sure that 2019, and then if they did come with 2019,
I thought 2020.
I expected that Xbox would be forced to launch earlier than they maybe planned. So I still think 2019 is... It's not impossible. It just seems improbable, but the console market is so weird right now with all these half steps.
Yeah.
Like this, you know, the PlayStation
the
Pro.
S and the X.
And the S and the X and the, you know,
and the
like,
SX.
Yeah, so it's just like it's weird. It's just so it wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah.
At that point, I suspect whatever they come out with, both the PlayStation and the Xbox, they're going to be compatible with the games from the previous generation. I don't think people are going to let them get away with not doing that.
Dude, what the fuck are you writing about, man? What is this? What is this? Because I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, I don't give a fuck about the PlayStation 5.
I'd show the stream, but I'd show the stream and shit, but we don't have cameras today. I have this. There's only one page written in so far, not like in terms of actual writing it out, but I have years ago. I decided that one of the things I wanted to do in life was to have a book published. Because I used to be such a prolific writer when I was younger, and then when I hit university and I literally had no time, all I was doing was reading and writing, but just about boring-ass business shit, I didn't write as much as I used to. So one of the things that I wanted to do is to get back into doing that and reading fiction again and write a book for myself at some point in life. I don't have a timeline on it or anything. It's a life goal to get it done. So what I did was I went out and I bought this leather backed journal with like, it's got parchment, like rough cut parchment paper in it, and it ties off with like a leather strip. It's really kind of cool looking. It's like some old ass looking stuff. And I have this as my book that whenever I have like a general premise of what I want to write about, and then whenever something comes to mind for a plot point or a character, or like a character either as an entire character or like a quirk for the character or whatever, I jot it into this journal, and then when I have what I feel like is a group of ideas, it's almost like, you know, when you watch like a really good rapper has a notebook where they're just writing random shit. And then eventually they start taking random excerpts of all the stuff they've written and they stitch it into a song. And some people think that they just sat down and wrote out that whole song. No. But it's just like they have this notebook and they've just taken shit that fits and they plugged it together. So I'm kind of trying to take the same concept where naturally over time something comes to me and I write it down in this book. And then when I have it, I'll start taking things and properly outline it and write this book. It will be science fiction because it's my favorite. It's my favorite
so
genre.
Like space, like
it will be space.
Stuff. Yeah.
So it's
you trying to make a Star Trek, or is it going to be like a political thing?
My fear is in the time. So this, like I said, this is years, right? So in the time that I first came up with the concept for my book, the very like the just bare bones concept. There's already been a couple of books and movies and TV shows that have touched on themes and things in which I was going to write about in my book, which is just going to happen. You can't fucking beat it. It's going to happen. So, but there's
one way to beat it though, Adam.
Write it faster.
To start writing.
So, well, maybe by the time I'm done, it'll come full circle. Like, you know, everything has like seasons.
Yeah. It'll be like a reboot.
So by the time sci-fi's popular again, I'll have my book.
There you go.
It'll be done. But it's like if you know Arthur C. Clarke, who, if you like science fiction, you know who Arthur C. Clarke is. And he wrote, remember the game Rama?
Yeah.
Okay, so the book series that game's based on, that's Rama. He wrote that. He also wrote Space Odyssey or whatever. Like, he's the guy who wrote that shit.
Okay.
2001 or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's the guy.
Classic.
Yeah. So he's my favorite science fiction writer, and so I obviously drew a lot of inspiration from that. But the best way I could describe it without giving everything away is if you took the concept of Rama and you reversed it. I won't say more than that. If you took the concept of Rama and you reversed it, that's a really low resolution view of what the concept for my book is.
Adam, you gotta start writing, man. You gotta start writing,
dude. I've streamed twice in 3 weeks because I'm trying to build a fucking website. I don't have time to write right now.
Adam, you gotta make time. You gotta find time. You gotta wake up early. You gotta stay up later. Well, actually, you can't stay up any later. You just be up 24/7. You gotta wake up earlier. All right, you gotta get on the grind, bro. That's what I'm doing. I told myself this book will be written within 3 months.
I would definitely not be able to write it in 3 months if I tried to sit down and do that.
You're going to be writing like a full fiction. I'm going to be writing, a fucking non-fiction streaming.
Yes.
There's only so much that I can put into this, right? You got to come up with characters and fucking plot points and fucking, you got to basically, you got to use all imagination, right? I just got to use real life, right? And make it entertaining.
Truth is stranger than fiction, though. Sometimes you have to pull from real life to write fiction properly.
That is true.
To make it believable, because good fiction is believable.
So what you're saying is the two of us, by some point in 2019,
New York Times bestseller list.
One of us could be on a New York Times bestseller list or a top Amazon best-selling list, or we both are full-blown voice acting. I'm voice acting. You're a voiceover. Yeah, and we're still milking LAGTV and the podcast to pay our bills because both of the things are not going so hot, right? So that we can do something else with their lives, and it's gonna be voice acting or writing.
That's pretty much it. I told this dad asked me when we were building these, like, you might be able to see this shit in the corner or whatever. Like all this stuff. Okay, so when Dad and I are building these sound treatment panels.
Is he like, what the fuck are you
doing
this for?
And he sat down and he looked at me and he said, what do you really plan on doing for the rest of your life? And I couldn't.
It's like it's a low key real question.
Yeah, it's a real question for
at
sure.
This point, he's concerned. He's going,
you're going to be 30 this year. You know, what are you doing for the rest of your life?
Do you say voiceover?
And I looked at him and I said, if I'm going to be real with you, I don't actually know.
I would have told Dad, I would have said, listen, motherfucker, have you heard me speak? I've got the golden voice, all right? All it takes is just one shot. You know what? Adam's gonna be.
Oh my god!
Adam's gonna be voicing fucking audio books.
We're gonna be that guy.
Yes, that's what Adam's gonna be doing. So, holy shit!
Yeah, but he asked that. I was like, I actually have no fucking idea.
I have no idea.
I said, look, right now, all I know is that if I fuck all this up, I'm gonna be that guy and be a real estate agent like every other failure in fucking life and just sell houses.
That makes me feel good. Considering I'm in the process of getting my license now.
Yeah, but you're more benefiting from it for buying properties to save at 6%. You're not out there to sell houses as your core income. Like that will be me. I'll be the guy just like out there doing that shit.
It's a fallback.
And that's everyone's fallback is fucking real estate.
I'll sell houses.
It's fine. So there's that. But right now we're gonna give an honest go at voiceover. I'm gonna give another honest go at doing this at reviewing and writing about games again. This website's gonna be fire. I want to let you know this website's gonna be absolute fucking fire.
You know what? I bet you something. All right, and I challenge you to this.
I hate challenges.
I bet you that your community and the LAGTV community and the podcast community, my community, and just the gaming community in general is going to be more excited about you venturing out and writing a fiction novel. I'm being serious. Listen to me. They're going to be more excited. They're going to be more supportive, and they're going to be more hungry for updates, concept art, fucking ideas, straw pooling, different things, and getting updates on how far your novel's coming than what they will for you reviewing the next fucking whatever game that you've played 4 times.
Oh, sure.
I guarantee it. And there's an upside as well to getting the book done because then you can publish it, you can sell it, you've got an audience that you can advertise it to. People are going to buy it regardless. And, you know, that's the beautiful thing about you know, what we've built here is we have the opportunity to monetize this in different ways that makes it unique because once again, that we talked about earlier, people want to give you money. You just got to give them a reason to give you the money. And I would give you my money if you had a book out there that you were writing on, that, you know, people start Patreons to get books going.
Oh, yeah.
They do all this stuff. You'd get the support to do it, and it would motivate you, and you wouldn't make any excuses, and you get it done. That fucking leather book, that epic leather book you'd have, would be filled with notes, would be filled with concepts, would be filled with chapters, and the shit would be real. And at the end of it, oh my sweet Lord, it would be an amazing accomplishment, and you'd be looking at it, you'd be holding your own book in your hands, and people around the world would be reading it, and you'd have tweets, and you'd be signing off copies. That, to me, is something. If you're turning 30 and you don't know what to do with your life and you're doing the same thing that you've been doing for the last 6 years and you have an opportunity to still make a living and not change anything for what you're normally doing, but you can venture into something without having to sell houses 10 to 12 hours a day because you're not going to have time to do it then, because then you're going to be fighting to pay the bills. Now you've got an opportunity to not only have support while you do it, but to have hype while you do it and have an awesome outcome at the end of it. I say you go for it. I say you venture out, even if it's a few hours a week, you start writing, you start updating.
I'll tell you what.
You got me going, Adam. I want to see the fucking thing. I want to see the fucking Rama reversed.
Look. All right, so this is
a little bit because I'm Tony Robbins now.
This is my plan. This is my plan. So
see it.
this is my plan. I'm already streaming to do what you're just talking about right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had the opportunity. I said this to Dad. I said, look, the reason I'm casting so many nets right now is because I can do it because by the good graces of my fucking community that's been watching my old ass play video games on a daily basis for years.
Amen.
It's allowing me to actually try different things to find out what the fuck I want to do for the rest of my life.
Amen.
So,
yes.
I'm already streaming. That's already there. That's there no matter what.
Yes.
So the next layer on that is I'm playing games and people like hearing my opinions and hearing my voice. I review the games that I play, which has been my formula for a couple of years. I'm expanding on that to be a bit more serious about it, to build this website so that people that aren't just on Twitch find my shit and come in to support that as well. And the stream, there's a Patreon for it separately so that I can have the games that I buy are paid for, and I can pay Mark to edit my videos and all that shit. That's all covered. It's there. So those two things work automatically together because I'm already doing the base of what is required, which is playing video games in front of people.
Yes.
The third layer to that
let me hear that third layer.
Is the voice acting or the voiceovers, because I'm now doing reviews, which are also a portfolio builder simultaneously for my voiceovers while I'm building that on the side. Because all of those things can exist in the same ecosystem in a run of a working day, 8 to 10 hours in a day. I can make that shit happen. And that right there gives me the money to, one, be a functioning adult and maybe save up some money to not rent for the rest of my life, while simultaneously giving me the opportunity to sit down and be a bit more serious about my book.
Yes, that's the fourth layer.
That's
I like
that's the last layer right there.
Like
is the
layers,
book.
Adam.
Because as much as I want to literally throw away the $1,000 that this website's going to have cost me by the time it's all fucking said and done, despite the fact that I'm building it by hand. Despite the fact that I'd love to do that and just go away and then only write this book and stream. That seems like a financially terrible life choice right now because I know that my community is going to buy the book, whether they read it or not. They're going to buy it just to say that they have it. Maybe they get through the first chapter. Maybe they don't. It doesn't matter. They're going to buy the book.
They're going to read it.
They're going to buy the book.
They're going to read it.
And maybe they tell some other people about it, they buy the book. I would love if the thing sold well, but I'm not the next Jordan B. Peterson selling a $2 million or 2 million copies of the 12 Steps to Life or whatever the fuck. It's not going to be that book. So I have to be sensible. I want to write the book.
I think you could sell 500 copies of this book.
I think yes.
I think you could sell 5 easy.
But I
think you could definitely, and at $20 a pop, that's some change, man.
I think I could sell 1,000 plus.
Woo!
Because
Woo! Let's go. I like that confidence.
Because the community is going to be the first 500 easy.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna bump that shit right up.
Then it's just do those 500 people convince a couple of other people to buy the book, and so I think I could get 1,000 on the book. I'd be happy if I sold 1,000 copies of my book. Really, my goal in life was just to have the book fucking published. I didn't really care how many copies it sold. If one person reads my book and says that was a pretty good fucking book, I'll be a happy camper. Even better, and hopefully the community doesn't take this the wrong way, somebody who isn't in my community reads it and tells me it's a good book, because it's the same as your mom telling you you're fucking cool.
Yes.
It's not quite the same.
Yes.
Hearing your own community pump your tires for you, right? Like you want somebody else to.
I'm gonna try and sell 5,000 copies of my book. I'm going 5K. I'm going hard. I'm going hard.
I think you get that.
I'm networking with other streamers. I'm gonna fucking
absolutely.
I'm going to go to the schools. I'm going to talk to kids that want to become I'm going to be fucking whoring this thing out because I think it's important.
Yes.
And I got a mission.
Absolutely.
I'm going 5K. I'm going 5K.
I think you got it.
And I think Adam's going to write this book because I want to fucking listen. I don't even read books. And my dyslexic ass, I'm going to be struggling the whole way through. But if there's one book I'm reading that's fiction, it's Adam's Rama backwards. That's what I'm doing it. And we're not even going to call it Rama. We're going to call it Amar. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it should be called, is Amar.
How fucking bad would that
backwards.
be? Amar. Yeah, that's the 4-step plan. That's my Tony Robbins 4-step plan.
There you go.
Right now, I half-assed the website last time. Now I'm not half-assing it this time. I half-assed the reviews alongside of it. I'm not going to half-ass it this time. I've got to give it a go. It's the turning 30 thing, right?
Yeah.
I know. Life comes up on you, right? You felt the burn. I'm feeling the burn.
Dude, I got a kid on the way.
Exactly.
I want you to put that in perspective.
Exactly.
You think the 30 burns bad, bro? I'm in the
kid
middle
burns hard.
I'm in my real estate license right now. I just closed on a triplex. I'm writing a fucking book and I'm voice acting and I'm still streaming. I don't even have time to jerk off. Literally. Literally.
You gotta master the silent fat. You're streaming, you just make no motions. Wrist only, no shoulder involved. They can't see it. Just only wrist, nothing.
Fuck.
And then just, maybe act like you sneezed instead. That's gonna be the way to go, right?
We're literally casting out a million nets and hoping just to catch something.
Just one.
We just gotta,
I'm not bad. Well, to be fair, the book is not a net. The book is more
it's a passion project.
Physically throwing the book out and seeing what happens. It's not a net. It's actually the book being thrown. But the other stuff, can I make it in voiceover? Can I,
I think you're gonna do well in voiceover. I think you're gonna do really well in voiceover.
I hope so.
You'll need some training, and you'll obviously.
Yeah, everyone should take lessons when they're getting into that shit.
Yeah, absolutely, but you've got the voice for that type of thing.
I've got the core aspect of it. I just need to have it. It's that
hone
whole, hone it down a bit and get that settled in. So that's that. So we're just LAGTV doing voiceover and literature. Look at us go. Look at us go.
Yes. Pretty soon we're gonna not be gaming anymore. It's gonna be like book selling and fucking, do you need a commercial done for a radio? Because we got you covered. We've got the voice actor and we got the voice over guy. Right.
That's right.
So we got a little bit of both.
The 1-2 combo. The 1-2 combo. But yeah, Mr. Black.
Yeah.
Hit me up with the sound of movies and TV.
Movies, TV.
Big Bang Theory's finally fucking coming to an end.
Finally. I saw that today. I was like, Jesus, about time.
Like, don't get me wrong. When that show first came up, I'm not going to be the guy that denied that, that I, and say that I didn't like it. The first few seasons, I thought it was a good show.
Yeah.
Just like How I Met Your Mother for the first few seasons was a pretty good show. Then, after like 3 or 4 seasons, it's like they pressed the copy and paste function.
Oh, they did.
And we
almost have to, though.
There's only so much you could write.
Yeah, there's like, in the same rooms. It's like the same apartments, the same fucking characters, the same, the odd cameo. It's just, and the only reason why they're stopping is because the main guy is
Parsons. Parsons is like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. I made $1 million an episode for the longest time. Plus, I'm getting all kinds of royalty back-end deals. I've made up, I don't even know what his net worth is. It's probably like a fucking $200 million at this point.
It's several dollars, to say the least. So, finally coming to an end, for better or worse. There it is. Bond 25 might be getting a complete script rewrite and new release day after Danny Boyle steps away from the film. Apparently what happened was old Danny boy, the pipes were calling, but also apparently the other Daniel Craig, and him were having some creative differences.
Yes, they were.
Now that could mean literally anything and everything, because that's the same as when a player gets injured in hockey and they say it's a lower body injury. You have literally no idea what the fuck that means. It just means that something between his hips, his balls, and his heels got injured. So saying creative differences could mean anything from Daniel Craig open hand slapped him in the mouth to he literally just hated everything about the script and thought that he was taking his version of Bond in the wrong direction and didn't want to do it. And since Daniel Craig is the Bond for so long, Danny was the one that had to step away. Because obviously, Craig wasn't going to be the one that stepped away from this.
No, and Daniel Craig is like a producer on these movies as well, and he has like a lot of creative say just because he's been part of this for so long. After he's done with this career, I mean, he's going to be known as James Bond, right? I'm sure he'll do some other movies, but he's almost going to have to like not go into any blockbusters. He's almost gonna have to go into like sort of the Oscar route and do some weird.
He'll do another
movies.
girl with the dragon tattoo.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna have to do something completely different just to kind of have the people forget about him a little bit, so to speak, so that he can reemerge as an actor. Not saying he's not one, but as an actor with many faces instead of just Bond.
I think he's a pretty good actor. I like him quite a bit.
Yeah, no, he's a good actor, and then also he just wanted a lot of creative rights because he hates filming Bond. He just doesn't like it. He said he literally would rather have killed himself than do another Bond before.
It's got to be one of the most grueling like things you can do is be Bond. I mean, like how many other franchises exist where there's one titular character and it drives the entire thing for as long as Bond has been around, and you have the weight that comes with being Bond.
Yeah.
And then the physicality of being Bond in this isn't Pierce Brosnan era. This isn't Sean Connery era. This is I'm running and jumping off of a roof and everything's exploding. This is some hard ass friggin' work. And so I can imagine it's probably to do his, multiple movies, and it's probably pretty tough. So I don't blame him at all. And he also seems like a guy. Like, he's the kind of personality that once he's done with something, he's just fucking...
He's over it.
He's over it. And it's on to the next one.
The only reason why he's staying right now is they're paying him a boatload.
Yeah. Do we know how much?
I have no idea. How
30 mil?
Oh,
40?
Oh, I would say at least 30. Yeah. Like, I would say at least 30. And then there's probably like, back end money too.
If he's a producer on it and everything else, he's getting like separate.
The guy is getting paid endless amounts of cash. He went out publicly and literally just slandered the living, said, I'd rather kill myself than do another Bond. Literally, that's what he did it because they gave him
like so much money.
You know what? You sell so well, your movies make like $1 billion, and you're awesome. Everybody loves you.
Yep.
We don't have Idris Elba yet. Can we pay you a lot of money? And apparently he said okay.
Speaking of Idris Elba, he said that he will not, in fact, be the next Bond. I don't know about you, but I don't personally believe him.
No, I mean he can't. Even if he knew
it's not like
or
he
didn't
say
know,
right
he can't
now.
come out and say it, right?
No.
He can't come out and say it. But yeah, and I mean the reality is they might not even be in formal talks with him to be Bond yet. There's just he might not have had anybody approach him or anything like that, but. Listen, the world is crying for Idris Elba. In fact, what people want to see and what I would love too is they want Idris Elba to do a one-off Bond, and they want Ryan Coogler to direct him, who's the black director from Black Panther.
Okay.
He did one of the Fast and the Furious. I think it was like the last Fast and the Furious. The guy's an amazing director. He's also done like Fruitvale Station and did a lot of stuff with Michael B. Jordan. The guy's an amazing director, and people are just like, you put these two guys together, do a one-off Bond film, and see how it goes. And then obviously if it does really, really well, then turn this into the next sort of thing. And even people are saying, even if you don't want Idris Elba to be the Bond, that he could be like another Bond, like a different Bond. So kind of like Mission Impossible, you've got your main, your MI, whatever his name, Ethan Hunt.
Instead of 007, he's 006. He's Trevelyan.
Exactly. Right. He's another
Black Trevelyan.
Exactly. So instead of it being whatever the hell Daniel Craig's name is, or James Bond, but
James Bond,
yeah. But instead of being James Bond, he would be like Idris Bond or
he's
something.
Another one
like
of the double.
He's
another
one
of
the agents. Yeah, he's another one of the agents with the same last name. It's still Bond, but not being James. So. Who knows? Who knows what the world is asking for it? He'd be like the perfect gritty. He's got the acting chops for it. Like he's the guy. He's got that stoic look.
He's got the swagger.
He could wear a suit and a fucking Omega watch. He could drive a fucking Bentley. He could fuck a hot chick. He could beat the shit out of you while he's doing it. And he can, he's got that accent. He's the fucking guy. He's literally.
He's black, Jeff. It's 2018, the year of our Lord. It's time for a black Bond.
And he's black, so
But is he black enough? Because that's something else I forgot to write in here. Did you hear about Catwoman?
Yeah. I did, yeah. Although I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't fucking stand that actress. I'm
not like her biggest fan either, but I think she works for Catwoman. Like when I heard that she was Catwoman, I was like, I can from a visual. Yeah. She looks like a Catwoman, right? I
just find putting her as Catwoman is gonna dumb it down, kind of like the old fucking what's her face, Halle Berry Catwoman, you know, where it's just
Halle
like
Berry hated doing that too.
It's still, I just think it's gonna be as cheesy as that is. Like I have a hard time picturing it being a serious movie, kind of like a. You know, say like Venom is, for example, where you have Tom Hardy, who's a really good actor, and it's dark, and sure, it's still comic booky, but at the same time, it's still serious. I just feel like putting her in there, who's known to really have great acting chops. She looks the part. She could definitely nail a Catwoman look, but I just can't I can visualize it, but the one I'm visualizing is not the one that I want.
Well, it's kind of tough. I guess it's kind of tough too, because to this point we haven't had a Catwoman in a show or a movie that was displayed in the new age kind of serious tone that we've gotten out of Batman, you know, where she's coming from, right? Yeah. So, you know, we got the Nolan films that reset the tone for the entire Batman franchise. We got the Joker movies that are doing the same, that have been doing the same thing, which apparently we can't get enough of because we're getting another fucking Joker movie. So we haven't had though the Catwoman, and if you think about Catwoman, you think about Halle Berry's last attempt at a standalone movie, and then before that you're looking at the cartoon series, and then you're hitting like the original '60s TV show. Yeah. Or a couple of the 90s films, but the 90s films were the comic,
like the
comic recreation, Batman Forever,
that's it, with the penguin and shit, and like the fucking leather suit, and
exactly.
Although that was better than the Halle Berry one, I'll say that.
And then Arnold in there with the Ice Age line. It's always it's all good stuff. So we don't have that yet. And so I guess the question is, can she be that? And like you said, we haven't seen her with particularly spectacular acting chops in any of the roles that she's had. However, they're definitely casting her because, from what I've seen, which I only really learned of, truth be told, due to the backlash that she was getting. So the backlash came around the fact that so apparently in about 2006, and anyone who knows comic books in our chat right now might be able to confirm this, but in 2006 was the first real time that Catwoman as a character was in a branch of the comics where that she was a lesbian. Mm-hmm. And before that, for the 50 some fucking years before that, that wasn't the case. But in 2006, they started that as a thing for Catwoman. So, with that being said, and I don't know if she's also supposed to be Jewish as well in that same vein, so a lesbian, Jew, but they were saying that most of these complaints were saying that because Ruby Rose does not specifically identify as Batwoman, not Catwoman. Lesbian? Sorry, Batwoman, not Catwoman. I keep saying fucking whatever.
We know what you mean.
You know what I mean. But. Yeah, sorry. Anyway. So, fuck, I lost my train of thought. So in 2006 was the first time, and then she's supposed to be like lesbian Jew, whatever. So that they were saying was Ruby Rose, since she doesn't specifically identify as a lesbian, she said she came out apparently when she was like 14 or 12, is what she said publicly. She said she came out then, but over time, with how she's felt, she's got to a point where she just feels like she's in the more of a gender fluid thing. She's definitely a woman that likes other women, but she doesn't specifically label herself a lesbian, which apparently in the land of the lesbians...
She likes occasional dicks.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know specifically. All I know is that she doesn't apparently specifically... state that she's a lesbian, which is apparently a problem.
Okay.
Because the lesbian community is saying we were finally going to get a lesbian, character to look up on or look up to or whatever. And now here we got somebody who isn't, despite the fact that she is definitely gay and has been for the vast majority of her life and has been openly as such and has been, whatever. Now here we get this, and because she doesn't specifically say she's a lesbian, we get a fucking problem. And then to layer on top of that, she's not Jewish. So it's another situation of, it's not even another situation of, it's kind of like when we got, what was the last time this happened? It wasn't even that long ago. It was the, oh my God, we talked about it on the podcast too. It was another role where somebody
Yeah. I know.
Oh,
I know
Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson in the
yes.
in that movie. About the trans guy or whatever.
Yes, where she was gonna play
like a trans guy, I think.
Yes, a trans.
Yeah. So it's similar to that, except in that she is none of those things. But in this case, it's even closer. But she's not gay enough. She's not gay enough, and she's not Jewish enough. So like. We're on a spectrum within a spectrum within a spectrum to determine somebody's ability to portray a role in a movie or a TV show, and it's gotten crazier and crazier and crazier. I don't understand. Like, so they want as specific as possible. It has to be a hardcore, vag only, scissor me timbers 7 to 9 times a week. No exceptions, no dick, don't want to see it in a textbook, no nothing, hate it, hate the thought of it, holy shit, just surround me with women lesbian, and then we can only have the most hardcore Orthodox Jew to play this somehow paradoxical Orthodox Jewish hardcore lesbian Batwoman.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
In a movie.
I actually thought she was playing Catwoman. But Batwoman doesn't change my opinion about her at all, and it doesn't. I don't see her. I just don't.
Could be Dog Woman. It doesn't really fucking matter. It's all
literally. She could be Dog Man for all I give a fuck, right? I don't like. It doesn't matter to me. I don't think she's a good actress. I don't think she's a great actress. At least in a. I mean, listen. She was on fucking Orange Is the New Black, right? I didn't know personally that she was a lesbian, but I figured. I mean, I look at her and I can. As sad as this,
she doesn't hide it,
but I mean, she didn't even. I mean, listen. I didn't even hear out of her mouth say she was a lesbian. Yeah. I just assumed she was a lesbian just by the way she carries herself.
That's a dangerous word, Jeff. The assume word is a very dangerous word.
Well, I mean, I assumed right. I mean, my assumptions were correct. Just the way that she presented herself, she looked like the typical.
Because that's what she's trying to project.
Exactly. She's like, hey, I'm a boyish type. Female. She's very attractive. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just listen. If I can just physically look at her and go, oh, okay, she's likely a lesbian. And now she's playing a lesbian character. I'm gonna go, well, that's for one, that's fine. And even if she was straight, I'd be like, that's fine. I don't care. It's acting. She's an actress. She acts. So there isn't a problem with her. This isn't like, for example, there is a forever white character, Batman, right? So there's Batman, and Batman's white. All right, okay, let's always been white, likely always will be white. It's just the way it is. And then all of a sudden, they want to put in Donald Glover because Donald Glover is hot shit. And he could basically act anything. And although you can't really picture him being Batman, he's going to be Batman and he's going to have the swagger to be Batman. He's just going to be Batman. It's going to work. Right. But there's massive backlash because he's black. I get that. As a black guy, I'm not going to go, deal with it, white people. We got you. We took another one from you.
Finally, it's my Batman.
It's my Batman. I identify it with this black Batman. Black suit, black face, black everything. It's Blackman, right? I like Blackman.
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 Right? I get that. All right. But if you're gonna have a Batwoman who's a white female, right? And she looks the part of what a Batwoman could be. And she's got enough. Listen, I don't think she's a great actress, but people seem to like her. She's an attractive individual. She's working her way up through the Hollywood ranks. They want to give her a chance. There is no reason why, even if she was straight and she likes dick for breakfast, lunch, and supper, and she does not have any intentions for a scissor session ever, and she wanted to play Batwoman, who is a lesbian character or has lesbian origin to her character or some version of it, I don't know. There is no problem with her stepping in and portraying somebody. That's just like saying this, Adam. All right. And I want all the gay people out there that are angry about this. I'm talking to all of you that are angry. The ones that aren't angry, you're cool. Well, I got no beef with you. But think about this. How many gay actors and actresses are there in Hollywood? There's a lot. There's probably a fair amount. Some of them are out of the closet. Some of them aren't. Whatever. How many of these are playing, and even Rose herself, who has played many of different characters. I just went through her IMDb. All right. Remember, she's gay. She was in Fast and the Furious, played, I guess, a love interest of some sort with Vin Diesel or somebody in there. How many of these lesbian and gay actors played straight characters? So why is it that these people are not hated on for playing somebody straight when they're gay? So why is it that, hey,
because Jeff,
leave the fucking straight acting for the straight actors?
Because
how it fucking works.
Because
acting.
like the white man, Jeff. We already have everything. The straights already have everything. So it doesn't matter if we lose a little bit.
Oh, for
that logic
sake.
Doesn't exist.
Yo,
because it doesn't matter. Jeff, is Christian Bale an orphan?
No,
then why the fuck did he play Batman?
God damn it, save it for the orphans.
We need the orphans to have representation.
We need the struggle of an actor to know what it's really like to go from house to house.
Yes.
Not knowing where you've been because you can't act that way.
Did Christian Bale watch his parents be brutally shot and murdered in front of him as he was a small child?
No.
Did Christian Bale have a ballin'-ass butler to take care of him and raise him and turn him into a multi-billionaire playboy philanthropist
I don't think so.
Superhero?
I don't think so.
Then how the fuck are all of the people out there who watched their parents get brutally murdered in front of them when they were a child? And for all of those people that also had a butler to raise them after their parents were brutally fucking murdered when they were a child and turn them into a billionaire playboy or playgirl, philanthropist, fucking superhero, how are they gonna get representation? Where does it stop?
Where
are they? Where's Harvey Dent?
Where's Harvey Dent? It's just ridiculous, man. Just leave the fucking girl alone. Leave the fucking girl alone. She's getting her hustle on. She's working her way up the ranks. Watch the movie or don't watch the movie. I am sorry, gay community, that she doesn't lick enough box for you. And I'm sorry that she isn't Jewish as you would like. And she doesn't, like, you know, parade around like a Jewish lesbian and let everybody know in order for her to only play a character. What? Okay, here's another fucking question.
Oh, hit me.
How many gay Jewish people are actually into Batwoman? Like, to the point where they gotta care about what's actually happening. What is the percentage in the demographic of people that are just looking so forward to a Batwoman movie that just so happen to be super lesbian and super Jewish? I want to know those numbers because why in the fuck are we even who's complaining about this? Because if it's the straight white male that's complaining about this, Shame on you.
Oh my
Stop
God.
the madness. How many?
One. At least
Okay,
one.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I figured it wasn't much more than one.
The polls are in. Survey said one.
This is Batwoman. We're not looking who's gonna play the next Wolverine.
Oh
For
my
Christ's sake,
God.
it's Batwoman. Jesus Christ, give me a break, man. People got to do something with their time, dude. It's getting old. Leave the woman alone. I can't even stand her as an actress.
It's not Jewish enough unless the Batwoman has a dreidel on her bat belt.
Yeah.
And she decides who to take into jail and who to let go based on where the dreidel stops.
Oh,
they don't get chocolate, they get off scot-free. Does she watch lamb chops play along? Does she make potato latkes, Jeff?
I don't know, man. It's just too much. It's too much.
Does she live on a diet of potato latkes and pennies?
Crazy. I need a piss though, real bad. Get us into tech support.
Yeah, hit me up with tech support.
And figure out some questions, because this is crazy.
Tech support. Here we go. Here we go. What a gong show. Oh my God. All right, tech support. Let's see what we got here. We got a lot of questions this week. Thank you. And I hope that our mics have held up, because we've been screaming a lot this week, making up for the lack of camera with more volume. Let's see. 19 questions. Damn. Let's take a look. I am sweating like a whore in church right now. But since I've not actually ever been a whore in a church, I should probably not say that, because we need real whores sweating in real churches to balance the representation. We wouldn't want anyone to go unheard. Let's see. All
right. I am back.
Here we go. Josh, $110 lifetime, $10 current. Let's go, Josh.
Let's go.
Josh asks, which celebrities would you like to see in a death match? They had a good TV show about this. Taking into account entertainment value and being okay with the death of either. My wife went for Kim Kardashian versus Paris Hilton. Oh, I think Paris gets fucking destroyed in that every single time.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
She
just seems too fragile.
That's a weight difference, and coke is a hell of a drug. It's a hell of a drug.
So is it a death, like a fight to the death, or
yes,
is it
it's
just
a death match.
Okay.
So we have to be, like you said, we have to be okay with one of them dying.
Oh, that's the tough part. Okay.
Steven Seagal, Chuck Norris.
You're okay with one of them dying? Oh, I guess Steven Seagal, maybe?
I'm betting on Steven dying, so I don't really care.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I'm going to go with, oh, man. I'm going to go with, just because I'm betting on it, I'm going to go with The Rock versus Donald Trump.
Ah, Donnie boy.
To the death.
Let's see. I want to get one more in. Let's see. I'm trying to think of actors I feel like are like overrated. So I wouldn't care if they just went away. Oh, that's tough. What would be a really good one?
Like overrated actors?
Yeah, you just actors that.
I mean, I don't want to see anybody die, but I mean,
well, obviously,
yeah,
obviously, but no, you know what? I'm going to change it up. Instead of dying, whoever wins gets their career back. I'm gonna go with one sec. I have to remind myself real quick.
Dude, I know who you're talking about, and he's got a movie. He's back. He's back in Hollywood.
Yes, fucking.
You talking about Brendan Fraser?
Brendan fucking Fraser, bro.
Dude, he's got a movie coming out.
Yes, and he's on a TV show. He's on a TV show.
Yeah.
It's a DC, I think. He's back.
Okay. He's back.
The internet did it. The internet revived his career.
He's coming back.
So I want to go with just nobody dies, and theoretically, let's assume that Brendan already didn't have his career back. I want to go with Brendan Fraser and Val Kilmer.
Ah.
Whoever wins gets their career back, even though technically already it seems like Brendan's already starting to get his back.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna stick with mine just because.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I can't think of
any. Let's see. There was another one here that I thought was really good. Oh. Motec, 160 lifetime, $10 current. Let's go.
Let's go.
Would you rather be a midget that has to be carried around all the time or have to constantly carry around a midget?
Would I rather be a midget that has to carry around what?
Would you rather be a midget that has to be carried around all the time or have to constantly carry around a midget? I'm carrying one around. I don't want to be like
Yeah.
I don't want that seems like just being a midget is one thing and then being a midget that has to be carried around.
Yeah.
Like the novelty of that's going to wear off real quick.
Yeah. I'm going to go with carrying somebody just
Yeah.
I'll get a good workout. You seem like a nice guy. You know, it would be yeah, it wouldn't be fun, but
it's an icebreaker, you know, it's like having a dog at the park, except instead of a dog, you have a midget.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how you get women.
Or a little person, we should be saying.
I'm just reading the question. I'm just
okay.
Right. Not the opinions of this show. We need a disclaimer. We need a disclaimer. Let's see. No. That's still not the one that I read that I was like, yeah. Here we go. Cyclonics. 170 lifetime, $10 current. Let's go.
Let's go.
You have been given land from your king. Now's the time to create your house sigil. What would House Bouse and House Nova of War, how would those sigils look like? What would your sigil be?
What exactly is a sigil?
Sigil is basically like your house crest.
Logo?
It's like it's like, you know, like in Game of Thrones, all the houses have like their own sigil or crest, the logo, basically. Yeah.
Well, my logo is going to be my logo. It's going to be the
usually
the black.
there's an
it's got like a little. It's got the helmet on there, like the battle type thing. You know.
Yeah. Usually there's an animal or an inanimate object of some kind that's part of the overall thing, but is the helmet your inanimate object?
That's my thing. The helmet.
Right. I'm halfway there. I've got the shield, right? So the shield would be the base of it. And I when I read this question, I was trying to think about what would be the animal or the whatever that I'd put on there. And so I mean, it's Canadian. I'm gonna put a moose on that motherfucker. Some sort of like, you know, like the horse, like the half standing up, like, or the rearing horse. Make it a rearing moose, or just do like the antlers. Oh, just antlers, made like moose antlers or some shit. Something along those lines. We got the shield, we got the maple leaf in there because I'm like the Canadian version of the American that won't shut up about loving America, and then get the moose antlers in there somewhere.
Okay, I like that.
That'd be good.
I like that.
That would be good. We have a lot of questions this week, actually. That's why it's taking me a while to read through these. We got like 19 or 20 of them.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It's been a hot minute since we've had that. Ooh. Will! 90 lifetime, $10 current. Thank you, Will. Sour, salty, or sweet? What kind of snack do you prefer?
I am definitely sour. And it would be a Sour Patch Kids, my favorite candy.
Mmm. I am either salty or sweet. I'm gonna say sweet, but it's chocolate. So I either like I don't need a lot of chocolate. I just need the taste of chocolate. So for example, I have like these mostly healthy nut and granola bars that have like just this tiny amount of chocolate on it. And just that amount of chocolate is enough to trick my brain into thinking I just had dessert. That's all my brain needs, is just like the you had something. And then sometimes though, I really want something salty, like just plain potato chips. There are times where I just want to eat plain potato chips, and that's
You're making me really hungry right now. I haven't eaten in a little.
Oh, rip! I had a Bouse burger before.
Oh. Oh man, I would destroy one of those. Yeah,
it was one of those days. It was a rare day. I ate it plus all the fries. It was a rare day for me to get through. I crushed it all. Crushed it all.
The dream. With a bottle of Coke?
Not a bottle, just a can. I got it right here. Just a can. Just a can. I can't. A bottle is hard for me to do these days. Like I'll drink it, but I feel bad about halfway through. Like I just look. I've already.
And the end of a bottle's never that great anyway. Like you get to like the final 25%, and it's really just you're just drinking it.
It's kind of flat because it's been tilted back and forth so many times, and you're just like you said, you're drinking it to drink it. So a can for me is perfect. Like I could even have a slightly smaller can and still be okay. Like this is what 355. I could do like 300, and I'd be fine. I'd be fine.
Just one last gulp.
That's just one last little bit. Let's see what else we got here. Martin's got like 4 questions back to back to back to back to back. What are they? Let's see here. Oh, here's one. I can answer this one. First of all, Martin, shoutouts for being $365 lifetime and a new, to my knowledge, not for more than a couple months at best, $100 pledge.
Right now, thank you, sir. Let's go.
How long will it actually take for Adam to update the Patreon list in the end credits? Forever, because I'm actually just not going to use it because I'll just go to the page and do what I've been doing, which is just reading more names than the list ever had in the first place and just read off like 20, 30 friggin' names because it doesn't update. The Patreon's API is garbage, and you have to update the token code like every 24 fucking hours, which completely defeats the purpose of having it in the first place. So yeah, that's why that hasn't really been frequently updated. Another one from Martin. If you had the power, what kind of show would you want for a new Netflix series?
New Netflix series.
What would you like to see Netflix do? They've done a little bit of everything, so there's really you can choose just about anything.
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd like to see some horror on Netflix, like some really good horror stuff, because there's not a whole lot of it, and at least there's not like original Netflix horror. And if there is, maybe somebody in the comment section or in the chat can let me know, because I don't consider like Stranger Things horror. It's just
I don't think
nothing
very many
like
people
that.
do.
Like I would love to see like M. Night Shyamalan do his "Are You Afraid of the Dark" for Netflix, or or a line of Goosebumps for Netflix, or something like that. Something that is has a little bit of not comedy to it, but it's not like it doesn't have to be complete horror, but like a throwback as well, but really modernize it to make it scary. I'd like something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, I've got a couple of things, I guess, that I could come up with. One would be I would infinitely make sure that Terrace House literally never stopped being produced.
Jesus Christ! Why do you always got to come back to Terrace House?
Because it's my crack cocaine. I can't stop. It's so damn good. It's so fucking good. I don't know why. It's just good. So I'd make sure that was funded indefinitely. Another one, I guess probably. I would want a revival of like maybe a cartoon, because they're doing a lot of like cartoon anime revivals and stuff on with Netflix stuff. So let's go with let's bring back Samurai Pizza Cats. Just because.
Okay.
Just because. For literally no other reason than
I'd watch it.
Then
I'd check it out.
Who I mean, we all know that Samurai Pizza Cats were absolute fire, but nobody stops and thinks about Samurai Pizza Cats on a like out of the blue, except for apparently me. So, bring back Samurai Pizza Cats. And then as a third that's not a cartoon or my, crack cocaine, I want I'll do like my book anyway. I want a Rama series, because I think Rama's universe is well suited for the mini movie type series stuff that Netflix does. Yeah. Sci-fi is huge right now. Yeah. And
it would remind me of something like Westworld sort of deal, where it's like, sci-fi and
but it's based. There's a lot of science in it, which is also popular right now. It's kind of like when they did Interstellar and they tried to work in as much real science as they could without making people feel like they were in a science class. You could do the same thing in Rama, and I think it would do like really, really well with that. And if you don't know what Rama is, go read the book, or the books, I should say. And if you're Ultimate Bravery, go find the game, because it's just freeware now. And you'll get to see Arthur C. Clarke every time you die. He shows up, and he's like, "Bitch, why'd you do that?" I wish he said that, but he doesn't. But he does show up. He's got his little cane, because he was like 105 years old when the game came out. Probably didn't even know what the fuck he was doing at the time. He was probably like, "This is pretty cool. My book is being turned into a video game.
I'm in the game. Hey." All right, let's do one more.
Yep. Let's see. Mark Furry. Sorry, I almost said Fury, which would have been a dope last name. Mark Fury sounds like a fire name. It's almost like Nick Fury, except Mark. $120 lifetime. $10 current. Let's go, Mark. Remember a couple of weeks ago when Jeff mentioned blowjobs? Yeah, my wife was listening to that with me. She said, she turned to me and said, "You're paying for dinner."
Get fucked.
What poor reactions, or not, what poor reactions have your ladies had to content that you enjoy?
Kayla never really complains about the stuff that I watch. I always complain to her. Like, I always make fun of her for watching, like, the Kardashians, or she watches a lot of TV. Like, she puts my Netflix to good use. Like, almost every series on fucking Netflix has been binge watched by my wife. The only time she ever complains about what I'm watching, well, she complains about two things. Number one is I have the TV up really loud all the time. I'm like deaf. So she's like, "Turn the fucking TV down." So that's like the only time I ever hear her complain. Or if I'm just sitting there watching CNN, like I'm just watching the disaster that is CNN, she's like, "Turn this shit off." Like, she'll complain about that.
That's a fair complaint.
Those are the only two times I ever hear her complain.
Gabs hates pretty much anything to do with the 80s. So anytime I'm playing 80s music, I hear about it. Anytime that there's like a TV show that has 80s themes, which a lot of like the cyberpunk science fiction we'd be getting, like Altered Carbon. Like, she liked Altered Carbon, but she hated the fact that she had to listen to synthesizer music.
I love synth.
Yeah. So yeah, stuff like that. Anything out of the 80s, that's like her biggest no-fly zone is the 80s stuff. And there's definitely other things. Gabs is a very picky person in general. and so I hear about a lot of the stuff that I like, and it's just like, she doesn't like hound me for liking it necessarily, but I just get to hear about how much she hates it.
Yeah, she lets you know she doesn't like it.
Yeah, she lets me know that she doesn't like it. Yeah. So that's probably the biggest one is the 80s, for sure. Yeah, so I think that's going to be it for this week. I am so warm in here right now. I can't run the air conditioner when we're in here doing this, so I'm just dying.
Yeah, I'm hot. Now AC's not on because it was muggy, but it's hot down here, and I'm so hungry. I need to get food.
Oh, well, we'll wrap it up there. I will hop on over here to our Patreon list and give our shout outs to the gods: Jetrix, Postal Panda, Matt M, Hockey Psycho. That's a new name. That is a brand new $100.
Whoa, damn.
Hopped in. Let's go, Hockey Psycho.
Damn, let's go.
Let's fucking go. Thank you so much. We got Chico, Martin, Black Jimmy, Toad of Steel, Jorbach, Jamaican J, Adam J, or Adam B, I should say, Derek P, Sam R, Game Cock Toss, I just like saying that name, Mr. Miyagi, Soft Shoe, Will, and a whole host of others. I mean, I could go to like Michael T, Hunter, Nick Winters, Saren. There are just people, light on, just lists.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. I mean, there's a whole list of people here that have just been at like the $10 tier since the beginning.
Life.
So there's a bunch of like $150 plus lifetimes, and you guys are a bunch of gods. Thank you so much. When I somehow magically find the time in my life to overhaul the Patreon page, it will happen. So you can keep it, your eye out for that. I suppose you'll hear about it here as well. And then eventually, I think the website's also going to get moved over. I'm going to try and host the website in the same place that my website's on, and have everything under one umbrella. So that will be done as well. But yeah. And then, of course, Jeff and I eventually will be in the same room doing the podcast together, so you can look forward to that. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. If you want, you can head on over to patreon.com/technicalalpha if you want to join in and support the podcast. We'd appreciate it. We'll have different goals and stuff set up, too, probably when we redo the page, so you'll be able to check that out, too. Until we see you guys next week, thank you once again for watching or listening, or in the case of this week, pretty much just listening, because there was no video. We'll see you guys next time, and until we do, peace.
Peace.